Does deactivate, reactivate not do it?
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, we just had to reboot all
Hello,
of them because
Squidward.
we had to do stuff with the USBs and reset them. Okie dokie. So that should be everything. There we go. Problem solved.
Yep.
We were way overdue for a tech issue. It's
Yeah.
been a long time since we've had a actual 5-minute tech issue, but we're here, and assuming it doesn't just randomly disconnect again,
Oh no.
We're gonna
my
be
foot
fine.
Slipped.
we're good to go. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry about that.
They trusted me with all of the cables right here by my
It's the
nose.
best possible time it could happen, really. We haven't started doing anything yet.
That's fair.
Like,
Then
I
again,
would
me
much
being
rather
frozen
it
in the
be
middle
now
of like doing this is pretty funny.
than
Marshall got a hero
like,
point
any
back
other
there.
point.
Thanks to Gray's. You have to scroll up a little bit.
I
There.
am scrolling.
I have one hero.
Why you have 0? Get that out of here. And then Jashik now also getting one from Handsome Gank. Or make more bad decisions.
That's
into good
guaranteed.
decisions.
I mean,
steal all them ankles. So 2 points
Them
going on this side of the
Miligoshki.
table. Thank you guys. Sorry about that
Thank you.
weird delay. I literally
you.
have no idea what happened or why, which is always great when you get a tech issue that you don't know why it happened and you don't know why it stopped happening, and you're like, it probably won't. Well, the odds is going to happen a second time for no reason.
Glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah.
We
was a
literally
Windows
keep
update.
a memorabilia to some of our original tech issues back there on the wall.
We do.
Ah, yeah, there it is.
the sheet.
What could possibly be wrong? Like, everything's perfectly fine. The table and all the setup looks fantastic.
So the uptight
We mounted
Faraday
that like a
cage is
freaking
secured.
animal on the wall. Anyway, last week
Spikes.
we were working towards winning over the numerous myriad, kind of mash those together, guilds of the city of Catapesh to stand against the Scarlet Triad, to join us in, removing them again from the list of groups that exist, and most importantly, to vote down the protection of the city's mysterious Pact Masters. As long as Catapesh, and by extent, the Pact Masters and by extension Catapesh, support the Scarlet Triad, trying to make any move against them within the city would be raising arms against the city itself. We would not just be fighting the Scarlet Triad, we'd be fighting the Zephyr Guards, we'd be fighting the populace, we'd be fighting the Catapeshi army,
Oh no.
we would be fighting
more people to kill.
a bunch. Some of us are chaotic evil.
Yeah, some of us,
Okay.
have morals. Like, really just me.
Glitch burst. Excuse me.
Oh,
Excuse me.
an
What's
army.
that?
Oh god.
I see something dangerous. Visions of danger.
That looks like a huge size category marshal with a glaive using whirlwind attack. Oh no, where'd the army go?
Why do I?
Oh, the bazaar is dead now.
Why do I hang out with any of you?
I don't know how this happened.
I don't know
Because
either. We were so good.
We started
We
with
were
like
so doe-eyed and
this diligent researcher,
I don't know what you're talking
a
about.
barbarian, and a literal champion of Iomadai.
We still have a champion of Iomadai.
cleric of Saren Ray who was all peace and prosperity, and now we have this crap. What?
I mean, no fairness,
I kept reading the book and found more interesting things is what happened.
But
we also had a barbecue with some goblins and kobolds.
at the end
Book
of
2. Book 2 happened. That's what happened to us.
happened.
Book 2 will destroy any wide-eyed idealistic hero party.
The Cinder Claws will see to that.
Yep.
But as we left off, you had brokered a deal, Roshin, with the leader of the Farmers Guild. She was not exactly happy with the Scarlet Triad, their borderline, if not literal, extortion, and their lack of protection that they've been giving the Farmers Guild for their coin. And a problem with what turned out to be not just one, but 2 very large, very spicy beetles in the middle
Very
of the desert.
spicy. Yeah.
And with, I'm going to give you 60% maybe of a caravan. Still salvageable.
you know what?
0.
That's 100% more than would have made it through.
And no direct casualties,
And-
save for some of the draft animals.
And a
And-
load of baked bananas. And all those
And a
bananas. Go
wide
bananas.
spread of baked bananas, a pungent aroma filling the air around the desert of a mixture of delicious baked banana and sulfurous burnt beard hair.
Oh.
Look, the futures of the Farmers Guild still, they're on the rise. There's no more monsters.
The group of you have soundly defeated the pair of Zatani spawn that you found out in the
Somehow.
desert, and you have fulfilled that which the Farmers Guild has asked of you, that which Miss Khalid had made the contingent of the deal. As we come back in here, having decided that, maybe we should just rest the night at this point in the wake of the things that had happened and the amount of work it's going to be necessary to salvage this caravan and get it underway again. The master of the caravan has, in fact, I was going to say circled the wagons, but when you have 1 1/2 wagons, I don't know how much of a circle you're really making.
That's what Wall of
They're
Stone is
parked.
for.
Yeah, we have Wall of Stone specifically to make it easy for them to park the wagons.
That is fair. You could just make a prison complex out of walls of stone in the middle of the desert.
I like it.
You did come prepared if necessary, but it seems the danger for now has passed. Of course, they are not dumb enough to leave without to just sleep without any kind of a watch or anything. There will be people who can raise the alarm should anything else occur. There are more dangers of the desert than just mildly deific beings of purified destruction and fire. There are also, like bandits and stuff.
I'll take care of
Which-
most of the watch because I only have to sleep for 2 hours.
Which are probably also a similar level of problem to
There's the
Zotani's
furious,
offspring.
I mean,
furious elementals that eat people. There's
Yep.
Desert Wendigos. There's
You've not had a great time in the deserts of Catapesh.
I
really.
just-
It's better than
That's really-
Cobbler. That's basically.
I don't know.
it hasn't
I don't know. The
really
neighborhood's
been.
really gone downhill.
I just want to say that thus far, whenever Raz or I or Trishik have tried to sway a guild, we've done it with the talking and the being nice and the the chatting them up. And whenever these two try to have a sway a guild, we almost die.
What are you talking about?
No.
I mean-
he almost dies.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
I imagine some time will be spent patching up Marshall's more or less full body burns.
Yeah, we're gonna need
You
some.
had
You also look like a fried banana.
This is what all my salve is for.
extra crispy.
I just rub some dirt in it.
How much fire damage did you take in
So
that fight?
much.
Was it all fire?
200.
It was easily more than you have hit points.
It was more than you
It
have
was
health
like
for
2.5
sure.
razzes.
Because you had to be healed with moment of renewal, or you would have gone down.
Yeah.
and you
I'll
Put
still
this,
got kind
I
of
was down to
close.
70 hit points by the end of the fight.
Look, what matters is that Marshall
After Moment of
molted.
Renewal.
He has totally new skin now. He is a completely new Marshall.
It's
His
going to be
complexion looks amazing.
a little pink.
Yeah. Smooth as a baby's behind.
The man has been resurfaced.
Somehow the beard manages to mostly survive.
Well, the beard's
It is
made of fire, so it
Perhaps
makes
the
sense.
hardiest part of a dwarf's body.
It is. Like, so you have dwarf skeletons that still have beards.
I mean, that's how
Like,
it works.
That's how it works.
Oh wow!
Wait,
what an interesting.
Dwarven whites actually have a beard attack.
See,
Yeah.
It's
Really?
They do.
Oh wow!
I'm pretty sure.
a huge concern, actually.
They just drag it over you, and then you get frightened. It doesn't
That's
actually do damage.
disgusting.
It gives you the heebie-jeebies.
It becomes prehensile in death. It's
Ew,
where the
I don't
dwarf's
want to
soul
talk
is
about this
stored.
anymore.
So it's almost kind of like a tentacular.
Don't forget,
Don't make me move
Doesn't
over
do
there.
damage. It just freaks you out.
It just makes you feel bad.
the spell in first edition that gave you like steel wool for a beard and you could attack with it.
Right, that was actually a spell that existed.
Yup.
All
right, guys, back on track.
I forgot
Back
about
on
that.
track.
Point is,
I kind of
Come on.
do it now.
Come on.
point is,
Dwarves have beards.
now camped next to what was once a dryad and now a horribly charred oasis.
It's even more
where
dried.
much of the sand has been turned into a layer of lumpy, rough glass, several inches thick at this point. It's kind of awkward to walk across and make sleeping on the ground in your normal bedrolls somewhat uncomfortable. But beyond that, I mean, that is the worst of your concerns as the night passes.
Dig a little hole in the ground and sleep underground.
I mean, yeah, if you get like away from where it's all glass.
Yeah. No.
You can't really burrow through 4 inches of glass super
No.
easily.
We have
but
him break it.
It's true. You have a dwarf who can make a hole in the glass wherever you damn well please.
Not to mention, I just tap it lightly with my axe, who has sonic damage on it, and it just shatters.
You're gonna dig through broken glass.
That sounds like the plan, yeah.
With your little rat paws. All right, I'll heal you
I'm
up
not going to
afterwards.
tell that. I mean,
it's not like normal glass. if you take
No, it is literally melted
that's
sand.
what
That is
yeah, but
sand
that's
is.
not
exactly.
normal glass.
Yeah, it is.
That's fair.
It is. Yeah, it is
Sure.
not going to shatter in the incredibly sharp way that you would think of like a pane of glass, because
Yeah.
processed glass is a lot more than just melted sand. So it's just a moderately bad idea instead of like a severely bad idea.
They'll never
it's
find
kinda
me.
like-
It's
They'll
okay.
never
The
think
point
anyone's
is-
stupid
follow
The
enough.
the
point
trail of
is-
red. I'll find you just
The point
fine.
is, we wake up the next morning.
You wake up the next morning after the remainder of the evening. It was probably an hour. It was after sundown actually. This
Yeah.
had happened, so it was already the eve. There wasn't much time left. We're very thankful. Near a dozen workers of the caravan who obviously are fully aware they owe you their lives at this point, and with no losses save for the draft animals, which may make the past druid perhaps a little sad in her inside parts. But I mean, to these men of the Farmers Guild and the merchants,
well.
the mercenaries that are traveling, I mean, like this is just a business expense. Like no more tears are shed over the fallen oxen than the wagon, and in fact, probably less. The wagon probably cost a lot more.
That's good meat for a few days.
By the morning, they have been able to recover much of what they could. Most of the animals got clear, and there was enough for them to be able to haul the wagons back. And while they obviously lack the tools or the professional knowledge of a proper wainwright out here, they are able to do enough
I
to
got
get
it.
the central wagon rolling.
I can literally do it for them in 2 seconds.
You only have a couple of hours back to Catapesh. They'll be fine.
Okay.
And you arrive still relatively early in the morning. The travelers of this caravan, members of the Farmers Union, very happy to be back with the protection of the city's walls and the Zephyr Guard.
Do love civilization.
Where you, I imagine, would part ways pretty early in the market with professions abound, assurances that they are. You will absolutely have no concerns that the guildmaster will hear of this. That is nothing you need to worry about at all. That, go ahead and just check that one up as probably a solid member of support at that point.
I got it.
But as you arrive back to Catapesh, where is it you are headed? It's early in the morning, and of course you would have had food with the caravan members themselves for you've traveled, so you're not exactly want for staving off hunger here.
I think we'd like to change.
What do you
But-
think? We could just get right to work.
I was about to say, I'm not prestidigitation.
We have access to prejudice.
You have been out
That's true.
for more or less a 24-hour period. It's not like it was a massively long journey or anything. That said, your prestidigitation will help clean your things. It will not help undo the burnt and charred parts so much.
Yeah, that's kind of what
Well,
I'm
we had
thinking.
enough alchemist stuff and healing amongst us to probably take care of that.
Yeah, your bodies are
Yeah,
fine.
not the clothes I'm wearing.
Oh yeah.
I didn't get touched.
Nobody was
So I'm,
talking
like,
to you, Lizard
I'm pretty
Man.
happy.
Did Resme get touched too?
No, but these two are barely wearing clothes anymore. Like, I've literally been sitting there, like, pulling
Look,
stuff
hey,
up on
If
Marshall.
Marshall had taken any more fire damage, it would be considered obscene in public for him to still be walking around.
Yeah.
And I barely took
I mean,
any.
I'm wearing
so
mithril armor and a gug head. That's pretty much all I'm wearing.
the fire didn't stick. The fire didn't stick to me, so
And somehow the gug head is still intact.
Skeleton,
We'll
basically, at
go
this point.
change clothes.
You can stop back at Zader's.
yeah.
On your way over as you pass through the markets back to the western end
Wardrobe
of
of
Catapesh
tabards. Next one.
to head back to Zader's estate to refresh yourself to some extent before you go, try to make professional contacts amongst the
The-
higher echelons of the guilds.
The street sweepers. I can't say those words together. Street sweepers.
Or also the dung carters, yes.
yeah.
The street swappers.
That thing, yeah.
Heading back towards Zader's estate, back out of the bustling market, you see what would be not completely uncommon occurrence. Catapesh is, I would say, pretty far from a city free from crime. At this point, just generally walking around, you probably would have seen the Zephyr Guard at least accost several people, either for various petty thefts, pickpockets. It's like a paradise here because most of the people in Catapesh, especially in these entryway markets, are like yourselves. They are not locals. They're not natives. They are travelers. They're traveling merchants passing through. They are people unfamiliar with the throng and the intensity of the market squares here, just how packed it is and just how cutthroat everything is. So not a day goes by where the guards aren't picking up at least a dozen pickpockets throughout the city to generally just collect their collections. It's not really realistic to attempt to turn back over the coin a pickpocket is amassed throughout a morning and drag them off to whatever the nearest holding cells are for a day and a night to possibly sleep it off. But this is the first you would see these automatons that are with them getting involved. You would come around the corner.
Laser eyes.
To see a pair of gentlemen who appeared to not immediately submit to the Zephyr authority, one of which is clearly no longer to be counted among the living. The other, his hands currently cuffed behind him, is being taken by a trio of Zephyr Guard, two of which are wielding the strange controllers that you've seen before, the almost like Ankh-like brass control objects for these strange illums set at their top with these blue sapphires triangular in this ring atop the whole device. One of these golems is simply looming over, arms at its sides, standing still as you've seen them before, but eyes kind of locked on the man who has surrendered. The other is still almost in what looks like a combat stance of some kind. Its legs are a little spread, its arms are sort of out, like it's ready to intercept something. But this giant mechanism in the center of its chest, where this, again, I think we have an art of these guys, if not I will literally just turn the book around to you, where they have this blue crystal. The crystal is glowing and crackling visibly. And the body of the man is near just steaming on the ground. His skin looking almost dried. But they seem to have the situation fully under control. And surprisingly enough, most of the general purveyors of the markets aren't even really giving them a wide berth. The second of the golems and the two guards not currently, two guards with the control rods not currently engaged in arresting the second of the thieves, have at least formed a couple of feet around. But that is exactly how far the general public is giving this of a berth. The regulars here, absolutely undissuaged from their normal day-to-day activity. However, there is a kind of a second ring a little further back of more people, perhaps not from Catapesh, gawping and gazing at the situation. And you can hear whispers, some almost odd discussions, awe, not weird, amongst these folk about the literal laser beam that had burst from the machine's chest.
Okay. There you go.
You were close.
I
You
was
just had to
close.
take yours
I
a
was
little
close.
bit lower.
Yeah.
The Soul Forge, fire to kill you beam. Your soul is mine.
Where's Robert Downey Jr. when you need him?
I don't know that he could help against the giant robot laser.
No, he's
He'd-
inside
yeah,
the
he'd be
giant
wearing
robot
it.
laser.
Oh, that's But none of this really, unless you stop as well to gop, stops you from reaching Zader's estate and cleaning yourselves up and preparing yourselves for the day. At this point in the morning, Zader seems to have already departed for whatever it is she does on a star day afternoon. At least she is not immediately to be found in the entryway, and you do not come across her on your way to the residence wing where you are staying. But after preparing yourselves and readying, what are your plans for this weekend, Eve?
Slavers Guild.
The Fleshmongers Federation, I think, is the name that they prefer.
We know what they are.
They also know what they are, but like branding is a
Branding
thing
is
that,
important.
I'm gonna go talk to the Knolls.
Okay. The
I-
Fleshmongers Federation. Is.
I was thinking I would maybe go talk to the Carpenters Guild.
Okay. We're just never gonna be over it. It's-
Hey, the good news
It's
is
a
this guild,
carpenter's guild in another place with no trees.
this guild has twice the membership as the last one.
But they're in a place where they can import loads of wood and have a huge shipyard and a
Yeah, but it's
massive
all
port
dry
and go
and
through
crumbly.
like a ton of timbers. Like,
I mean, Kavlar could do that too.
what? Boats? They're on
The
a big old
they
lake.
have boats. They have a lake.
lake.
They have like 3 fishing boats.
Look, the
They have a
point is,
carpenter's guild too.
the reason
Furniture exists.
I'm leaving them behind because I know that I'm
They
the
can't
only
be
one who can be trusted with this kind of a diplomatic situation.
Everyone else will point left.
You are correct.
They're never gonna let Dwarven Carpenter's Guild go.
No.
Okay, fine. How about the rest of you?
They had
Is she-
3 members, and one of them was a
Be
plant.
quiet, Rosie. Now you're
We don't
making
know
fun
why
of
these 2
Leshies.
people exist, but we're gonna put a plant there because this is real sus.
I mean, it worked out. So, like, clearly we can't fault the Guild of Arms that badly. Anyway,
What are you people doing?
idiots. The one.
Let's see here. Well, if we're splitting up, I'll take on the street sweepers, I suppose. Go see what they can, what they might be needing.
Don't intimidate them.
Don't. I would never be so crass.
I would.
I know.
I mean, sometimes they just need a little bit of a kick in the pants. Sometimes, but that's hardly intimidation, now, is it?
I'm
You
gonna go get
smell
more
like
bread.
blood and gore.
Well, I mean, it's to be fair, it's actually rather appropriate considering our activities yesterday.
I think I'm gonna go get more bread.
That's a fabulous idea.
And I guess this just leaves Marshall, who I could probably guess your intentions for the day. But what would you like to do, my fine dwarven fellow?
I'm gonna have some fun at the Gladiators Guild.
Oh, I thought he was gonna say bar fight.
Fight me! Santa Claus!
Just standing outside her window.
Instead of
Throwing little pebbles.
instead of looking out,
No,
and
I've been
seeing-
throwing booby back and forth.
You better watch out!
Instead of looking out one late night and seeing a romantic view in the moonlight, it's just Marshall with the sign that says "Fight me," and he's just
Keep in mind it's misspelled and the letters are backwards.
IT
Energetically
backwards E.
flexing.
Miss Shock, we have is he still there? He's. You know,
Eventually I just get annoyed and just go Mega Marshall and tap on the
literally
window.
just like, hasn't moved.
Hey, listen. Hey.
His determination is astounding.
Just pull a Titan.
The closest he's gotten to romancing a woman, probably. I mean,
This is Marshall's version of flirting.
Yep, handsome
he's
gankers
just
got it.
madly in love with Santa Claus and doesn't know how to handle it.
I like me a woman.
So
who knows how to fight.
immature.
Madly is accurate. He's mad about it, and he doesn't know why.
Raz, we'll start with you then. You're heading out to the bakery because you at least had a pleasant experience last time. To go meet with the Guild of Bakers and Butchers and try to bring these humble folk around to, I mean, they are a guild as any other. Their support would be helpful. And what tack are you taking here?
We're just gonna go with a normal old diplomacy. Nothing fancy.
They're straightforward folk with simple jobs.
Yeah.
Give me a diplomacy, good sir.
I'm gonna tell him the Scarlet Triad doesn't like bread.
Did you know that Etrix Treagle just made the entire Scarlet Triad gluten-free?
I just went to one of their parties, only rice. That was the only starch available.
And it's the bakers and butchers. Oh, they're also vegan now.
They celebrate Passover
36.
every day. They
36?
only
Yeah.
unleavened bread.
Or 37 if I still have my
You
connections.
still have your connections, yeah. You could succeed on that, so your connections are going to help you tell the council meeting really realistically. So when you guys are not confident with the success that you found with the League of Upright Barristers and the Order of Alchemists and Potion Makers and how swiftly and effectively you brought them to your cause, none of you are really sure if Raz is trying or if he's just, heading out to the bakery and having a good time.
No, he
But-
said he was just gonna go get more bread.
Yeah.
That's true.
He didn't say
I'm gonna
anything about
ingratiate myself with the bakers and butchers. That way, when it comes to them, I'm a loyal customer. I've
I've
come
been here like 4 times.
every day for the past month.
When's the last time the Scarlet Triad came out here and bought stuff? Well, they just bought like a bulk shipment last week, but I've been here 4 times.
I mean, eventually, Raz is just gonna roll out of the bakery.
You are making some inroads here. It's that you're not making no progress. This is not the immediate sweeping victories you have possibly had in previous guilds. But each time you come to meet with the Guild of Bakers and Butchers, and heading out, honestly, into their actual business halls, to attempt to assess how best you can bring them to your side, you see more opportunity, more reasons to present to them to break with the Scarlet Triad, more ways they could benefit. And you are putting together a plan, really, for how to present this when the moment is right to secure their support and their assistance. Roshin is going to the Guild of Street Sweepers and Dunk Carters.
That's right.
Which, it ain't glamorous.
Nope.
No one's going to pretend that it's a highly sought after avenue of employment. In a
I'm
city
expecting a
size,
corrugated steel building. I'll be very impressed if it's something else.
in a city the size of Catapesh, there are a few guilds that would cause more pandemonium
If they
They
stopped
struck.
work.
were they to go on strike than the Guild of Street Sweepers and Dunk Carters. Mayhem would ensue, and surely their demands would be met within days, giving them a kind of a surprising amount of political power for a guild of such humble origin. So what? You've never been here before. As you meet with them, they are very simply. I mean, no one joined this guild with lofty aspirations. When I was growing up, I really just wanted to pick up poop out of all the alleys in Catapesh and put it in a bucket.
It's exactly like healthcare administration, actually.
Nobody wanted
No
to
one
do
grows
this.
up thinking, man, I want to be a healthcare administrator. No one does that.
But you get there, and then it is like a real avenue of employment that really, again, is maybe not respected, but decently well paying. And these people do really come to, if not really appreciate their own jobs, respect themselves. They're aware, especially the higher management, of the impact they have on the city and the amount of power they actually do possess, should they have demands that are met. And they take themselves quite more seriously than you might expect. And they are not ones that will be very easily approached with flowery words and pointless platitudes. They respect work.
Craft.
Plain and simple. You think, honestly, the easiest ways to find common inroads with this guild would be society or even athletics. Proving yourself no stranger to physical labor.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, Roshin has a very simple background. She grew up around a lot of just straight up salt of the earth people. There's a reason why she figured, much like Resme is not going to let Roshin come within arm's reach of the high society breeders. Roshin's like, let me not let her come to the.
Not bring a
Dunk
resume to the
Carters.
street sleepers
Yeah,
and the Dunk
exactly.
Carters.
She'd vomit.
So, I mean, she's just going to kind of walk in
Do you
and.
think they keep all of the poop in their offices?
No, I think they
This is
probably
why I
smell
don't
like
bring
it a little.
her. This is why I
She's
don't
not
bring
going
her.
to the place where the poop is.
Yeah. You understand the Dung Carters take the poop and put it elsewhere.
You do realize they've had their hands near it, right?
Yeah, the guildmaster goes out and shovels poop.
The
That's what
guildmaster is
happens.
personally
So
overseeing
not bringing
the dung
resumes.
wagons.
When's the last time you saw a manager do work?
I know, really.
Oof.
Oof.
But basically, it's gonna come straight forward as like, hey, look, I'm the freaking star of the arena in the Gladiators Guild. You may have heard of me. I'd like to come talk to your boss. That's basically as straightforward as it's gonna be. And if it comes to like trying to impress them, like athletics, as far as yeah, I'll help you carry this cart, move it out of the way.
Give me athletics.
Do the
roll.
one-handed
It's
lift.
I suppose it's as much the actual physical ability as really just the relation to, again, this salt of the earth, as you said it, people you're
flex.
growing up with very simple manual labor, showing them you do understand like the value of hard work, that you understand their business at a base level.
So athletics of well, Ghost of Azan gave me
Yeah, I
this here
can
hero
see the
point.
Norse Foundry 20 logo, and all of the numbers that are adjacent to that are not good.
Not good.
So, because that's how a D20 works.
So I'm just gonna give that die
That
a
was
rest.
on me. You did kind of just roll it across my
That was
hand,
the
though.
point.
Nice.
Hey, a 10.
That we like it.
We like 10s. That's a 37.
And a 37. After your initial meetings with them, you're not the most brilliant business tactician here, but you're probably smart enough not be like, hey, you want to help us vote down the Scarlet Triad as a member of the official council of guilds. But you see into their business dealings. You meet with you would not be taken directly to the CEO of the poop wagon, but but you would meet with some managerial, some of
Poopland Incorporated.
some of those who manage their business dealings and their bookkeepings, and start to understand how similar to what Raz did. This may be. You definitely see ways that you can formulate this, ways that you can work with them, and that you definitely build at least a bit of respect for yourself in your organization.
And I guess the angle that I'd be trying to take is like, look, the Farmers Guild are getting extorted, the Scarlet Triad are throwing their weight around, just making sure that they're not going and doing more things over here, just looking out for the people.
They don't seem like they have any dog in that particular fight. They have no problems with the Scarlet Triad, but they're also not opposed to being amenable, perhaps, to propositions.
Because the farmers didn't have any problems with the Scarlet Triad either until the Scarlet Triad
Until they
decided it was a good idea for them to have problems.
So, resume to the Carpenters Guild. Simple, down-to-earth, basic folk with perhaps more wide respect for their work outside of people that are not you three. But they are perhaps the simplest of the organizations on the list of the guilds. They take contracts. They source their supply. They're 50-50 on the work they're doing being from their own stock of lumber and what they're sourcing from overseas. Because again, you're in Catapesh, you're in the desert. You don't exactly have a tree farm outside. Most of their business is tied to the ports more than anything else in the city. They are the shipwrights. They are the wainwrights for the merchants. They're also taking their carts through land, but they're maintaining the piers and the docks for the city. And as well as many of the coastal warehouses. There's not a whole lot of massive stone buildings on the eastern side of Catapesh.
Yep.
The Carpenters Guild has a lot of business to attend to. And they are... The guild itself, different from a lot of the other ones, is somewhat detached from the work of the actual carpenters themselves. Almost working as a massive guild of middlemen for the craftsmen and the artisans who are actually doing the majority of the work.
This is interesting. I can work with that.
Yeah, you kind of have a lot of... I'm going to go with bookkeeping nerds who are working behind the scenes and pulling the strings here. But they are at least... Many of them are retired carpenters. They are mostly familiar with the business. A knowledge of the craft itself, crafting, could be useful. But you also, if there was a guild here you could just kind of bully into supporting you, is probably these guys. Intimidation.
Make me a chair.
Also seems a good.
So the tack resume is going to take is essentially not coming out obviously and talking about supporting them, but pretty much making a point of talking about other guilds that she's heard that are these sort of more like, crafts guilds that actually make objects for the city that benefit
More like
from
the bakers and butchers or the fraternal order.
the jewelers,
The Jewelers Guild, yeah.
and how they're kind of, the tide is turning against the Scarlet Triad in a lot of ways, and the craftsmen and the guilds who are willing to get behind that early and take advantage in the change of the waters, so to speak, may find it very lucrative.
Get many hero points, perhaps.
May find it very lucrative to change allegiance before everyone else does.
Okay, so what are you rolling?
So while she's doing that, she would have actually, I'm going to use creation for the first time because I have it. And while she's talking to them, she's actually going to be putting together almost kind of like a Rubik's Cube that she's carving and playing with and turning pieces. And by the end of the conversation, she will have aligned everything. Making her point that A, she knows their business, B, she understands that they are in an interesting spot, that they are the middlemen, that they're not necessarily on the ground, but they're the ones moving things around.
Right,
and
organizing mostly largely logistics and the business side.
And that at the end, she's really here to align their motivations.
Well, you freaking crafting check. Stupid metaphor.
I like my metaphors. I had to work crafting into that. How would you...
That's I'll give it to you.
And I am going to use a hero point because that
Who's
is
that roll hot today?
Tack through.
You know what?
Making up for last
3 for 3.
session.
I love to see it. Yeah, that's true. You just walked in last session, you just dropped 20s on everyone's porch. Now you're like,
Okay, that's the same thing, but still not bad because you know
I think
it's
it's
what I
karma.
do.
why is it karma? From what?
It's the Carpenters Guild.
Oh,
You know he's not wrong.
It's for making fun of the Carpenters Guild. They're a hive mind. Carpenters are a hive mind. You insult one, you insult all.
Well, you got
35.
35. You,
Critical failure. What a shame.
Shame. Again, you're starting to lay the foundation, lay the groundwork here. The Carpenters Guild is really just here for, well, whatever the most coin will come from. And if it seems to be that's not going to be the Scarlet Triad in the future, well, they're open to possible other suggestions.
I'm just laying
And-
the groundwork here. I'm not being super obvious.
It's a start. It's a start. Trishik, the Fleshmongers Federation here is but an arm of a much greater operation that is based more out of the city of
Okino.
than it is in Catapesh proper. I had confidence in you. I was like, there's no way you don't get this. Like, you know this one.
Yeah.
But it is an operation on the Catapeshi side that is more or less run by Catapeshi folk. That said, there would be a larger preponderance of gnolls here
What a
on the
surprise.
Catapesh side of the Fleshmonger Federation than in most other guilds that you would meet with. But what you're going to make as a contact here is more of those who are running the operations out of an office building near the ports rather than a proper guild official headquarters. Because again, that's all back in the Kano, more or less. This is just one finger of their great operation. And with them, they have no tie to Catapesh. They have no loyalty to the city or to anyone within it. They are simply here to do business. And you don't really feel like you're going to get a whole lot of value out of anything other than simply diplomacy or society with the businessmen of the Fleshmongers Federation.
What if a 50 gold bribe and a deception check?
Can't possibly hurt.
Money talks in this town.
They do like money.
So there's a guild that has no real vested interest in the success or well-being of the city that has a say in the governance of the city.
They make a
Because
lot of money.
They are a big economical force in Catapesh. It doesn't matter if they care about the city. It matters how big of a factor they are in the economy. These seats are just gold. Nobody's really...
Roshin doesn't care what Zader says. This place is screwed up.
Money
Roshin's like,
is
"There's
the common language amongst all the people in the streets of Catapesh.
secret
Gold pieces.
revolutionary underground, you say.
So what?
Tell me more about the unseen hand, Rashid.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna subtly throughout my time there while I'm doing talks and business is I'm gonna hint them in on a secret slave trade that had happened recently that did not go through their coffers. Just dropping little bits and pieces there. And I took 50 gold off my sheet. I'm like fully doing that.
We're in there.
For a 30 or 44.
With a 44, as you work, greasing some palms here and there, some weird little furry knoll palms as
You
necessary.
just slide the coin between the toe beans and it's gone.
Ew.
Oh, it's how they do sleight of
No
hand.
laughing.
It just turned to a
Are
witch.
you a hyena?
That's what I was doing, the no laugh.
That's but you try to infer, place them down here. The Scarlet Triad is sort of elbowing in on the Fleshmongers Federation's business here. And what you learn is where a lot of these slaves are going. They're not pushing the Fleshmongers Federation out. In fact, they are a source of a great amount of the Fleshmonger Federation's coin as of late. They have a pretty good business relationship with the Scarlet Triad, you could say. And while they will happily accept your bribe, and you are very well versed in deception and perhaps so a little bit of doubt, turning them to your favor is going to require a little bit more work than, say, the bakers or the carpenters.
But I got important information.
You did, but they are working they're pretty close together with these slave operations. Again, the worst kept secret in Catapesh, really. Something all of you would know as you make contact with these various guilds is that it's, again, among any of the people who know anything or have any amount of influence in the city, it's not a secret that the Scarlet Triad trades in flesh. That's a secret to the general public, perhaps. It's something well known amongst near anybody who's actually got any real political clout. And a lot of them, in various various ways and connections, are linked into that, but none more directly than the Fleshmongers.
So Trishik needs to go on the street with a sign and just say, "Wake up, sheeple. Follow the money."
Alternatively,
Money.
what if you just turn them against them by stealing shipments? Make business transactions go
By
bad.
stealing.
The money.
I mean,
No, the
slavery
money.
is canceled. Roshin will go along with it. She'll be gung-ho.
No, you steal the money for a transaction that was supposed to go from the Scarlet Triad to the Fleshmongers Guild. Suddenly, there's slaves that show up at the Scarlet Triad, but no one paid for it.
You're Robin
Roshin and
Hood.
Trishik, two opposite ways of solving a problem. Free the slaves, steal the money to buy the slaves.
Keyword being-
Marshall, as you head back out to the Gladiators Guild, boombox and your sign, you, after having taken a day off to go help out the Farmers Guild, you realize that they weren't really kidding. Things happened pretty quickly. In the anticipation for the events that are going to happen tomorrow, your name has certainly not been forgotten. But the excitement in the general public about the heroes of Breach Hill has kind of bubbled down.
Oh, I'm gonna fix that.
But that is a thing you can absolutely do, my good sir. Give me are you athletics or are you intimidate? Those are the two you're realistically going to use. I don't remember which one you used last time.
That doesn't answer the question.
That does not.
Spooky.
That's intimidate.
That's the intimidating chicken cluck.
He also does that when he's using athletics.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then you just, bah.
Yeah. There's
Oh,
the
there's
flex.
bark, and then there's bark.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't speak martial body language.
is athletics because you're flexing, but is
I
showing them
still
the
don't
beard with the
understand how I
beads
got
where
to be with
the-
I
all
don't
of you
have that
people.
language.
What's
This is
what's
your
the
party.
beads called? Mask of
Demon mask.
Demon Mask.
Greater
Demon
demon
mask,
mask.
yeah.
You're gonna roll
So
or
you-
you're just
you
gonna
Roll.
See, you go. Bah.
39.
39.
You know you want to re-roll that.
No, 39 is a respectable number.
Yeah, but you
You,
could
uh,
re-roll it. You have the choice.
No.
You were kind of the giant star of the show that everybody saw.
Literally.
Last toil day, you humongous pillar of man, you. And you are definitely a recognizable thing. And as you go
Marshall's
around
autograph just be flexing and like putting your bicep on a piece of paper.
trying to, yell "fight me" in the general direction of wherever Sandclaws probably is. Realistically, what you're finding is that a lot of the people who saw this show on Toil Day, who see you now, being very intimidating, are a little sort of concerned. You are a big spooky man, and think to themselves, maybe that's progress. The seeds are being sown, to be sure.
Well, I mean, my main goal, other than just being spooky, is just show Marshall in Marshall fashion, like other than just being a big goofball to the rest of the party. In reality, when it comes to fighting and like earning respect in battle, he takes that in very much pride. And being a little bit more on the darker side of things nowadays, he's embraced his dark half, regardless of his morals. Still being intact somehow. So he's
Yeah, no, not really.
You've unlocked Dark Marshall.
You
no.
will get a +1 to continuing to trying to provoke Sandclaws into accepting this challenge.
I mean, basically, he's just going around saying like, "Listen, I fear no one, at all."
I ain't scared. She's scared.
Except for the giant spawn out in the desert. He was frightened for that entire fight.
He was unsettled. He
was-
was not frightened.
That was
He was
disturbing.
unsettled.
There's a difference between uncomfortable and scared.
Yes.
Yeah, uncomfortable is frightened one, scared is frightened four.
I'm with him on this one.
But
That was a productive day.
as the group of you reconvene back at Zader's estate later that evening, I mean, all having made some degree of progress on your various fronts, you would all be coming back fairly late, near to sundown almost, as your various adventures and your meetings are going to hold you through most of the afternoon and into the evening. So you would all be arriving after Zader had already returned. And she is quite simply just sort of, well, lounging in her own entryway, waiting for the group of you, perhaps, or just, relaxing. It is a star day evening, after all, it's the weekend.
I give her a basket of rolls.
Bread acquired.
Slapping a dingus. Taking this from you.
Poor dingus.
How kind. These are treats I very rarely allow myself. But thank you, Raz. I have been hearing whispers from a great many of the guilds throughout the city. Many of my contacts speak of movement, almost, it seems, to undermine the triad throughout the city of Catapesh. You have been making many inroads.
No.
Zader, can I ask you a question?
I suppose any is free to ask anything they wish.
So, now that we's making inroads and all, now that we's sort of set up here, what would you all think about having a little get-together at this place? Or maybe another one, something to enhance our status among all these nice people we've been influencing.
You want to host a
Here.
party here in our safe house?
No, not here. We could go rent out a party house.
There are a great many venues throughout the streets of Catapesh that you could avail yourselves of. In fact, I think it is wise. Are there many of these guilds or consortiums you have contacted that you have made some progress with and seek to seal the deal? Perhaps inviting several of them at once could, forgive the idiom, kill many birds with a single stone.
That is exactly what I had in mind, minus the killing of birds, because that's just wrong.
Speaking of killing, I may or may not have tried to wiggle my way into the Gladiators Guild and refurbish our brand of the Heroes of Reach Hill. I may or may not have signed us up for another fight.
Oh, I suppose that's just par for the course, isn't it, Marshall? But they must be run out of things for us to go fight. They gave us the worst thing they had the first time.
I'm trying to convince to go for the head honcho,
Oh, yes.
Sandy Claus herself.
It'd be spectacular if she came into the... Oh, we'd smash her so good.
What say we let them go smash things and you and I talk business about this here party?
I agree. I can guide you and help you with some contacts or payments that may be made. But remember, the universal language in Catapesh is gold pieces.
We got
The more you are
gold.
willing to spend, the more receptive your guests may be.
We just made a ton of money off of killing that bug thing. I'm thinking we could use some of
Did
them
you?
proceeds.
I don't think we made any money on that at all, actually.
No, yes, we
It was a
we made
favor, I thought.
1,500 gold. The thing in the stadium.
Oh, there's the Gladiators
Oh, the
Guild
bug-
purse.
that
Yes,
bug.
Oh,
yeah,
The
that's
bug
good.
crab.
We made a
not
ton
the
of
bug
money.
beetles.
There's a lot of
The
bug
other
things
bug
around,
thing.
In
yeah.
fact, speaking of similar tech, I hear that Miss Khalid and the Farmers Guild is looking to reward some partners that had escorted a shipment limping in through the walls of the city this morn.
Did you
Yeah.
not collect that?
I thought the farmers were going to basically get the clouds. I actually forgot about the award, to be honest with you. I'm just so wrapped up in this whole taking the triad thing down.
It's
you
not a big
certainly
deal.
operate a very different avenue than I would, to be certain. What is the purpose of your actions, if not the reward?
Oh, the reward is taking down the triad.
Yeah, it's kind of like a sweet
You are
satisfaction.
truly more invested in undermining the triad than even lining your own pockets.
We could care less about the
establishing
money.
yourselves.
To tell you the truth.
Yes.
It might be hard to understand this, but the rest of the world doesn't necessarily work the way Catapesh does. Don't get me wrong, they all value coin just fine, and it pays the bills, puts food on the table, but it's certainly not like something like that sits in your soul, gnawing away at you like it seems to be here.
We also already have enough wealth to buy our entire hometown 6 or 7 times over.
While fair, I think you will find that at a base level, most havens of civilization have much more in common with Catapesh than they even may believe. Gold, well, its allure is not apparent where it is not present, no?
What?
Can you say this, Breach Hill, that you come from? If it were to find itself handling the same amount of wealth flowing through the streets of this city, you'd think it would remain unchanged. Do you think its ideals would hold intact?
I haven't the
I think-
foggiest idea.
I think
Not at all.
I think a lot of the money would end up buried in the ground because they wouldn't know what to do with it.
Quite simply, I find those who believe Catapesh's quest for wealth to be strange are simply those who have not had much cause or much time to chase it themselves. That said, of course, I am also here to see the Triad's downfall. But I see it as simply foolish to not receive any due rewards along the way.
Oh no,
Speaking of,
we're gonna go take it.
have you spoken with Ice Killer since your escapades?
I don't think we have
That
actually.
that night,
We have not had the chance.
It's
I
been
have to
quite
go
a
back.
whirlwind,
I have to go
actually.
back and get my ring.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they're doing something for you. It's true.
Yeah, I should really go do that tomorrow.
Yeah, perhaps in the morning we should actually go and try to finish things up a bit.
Well,
Regardless, if you wish to arrange a gala, tomorrow is Sunday. It is largely a holy day. Perhaps these festivities would be best saved for Monday.
Monday's fine.
Business and contacts are made. A day of profits and standard operations.
payday.
When many would be much more willing to forsake their day's plans for something a bit more enjoyable, perhaps.
Maybe you and Severin could help work that out.
Well,
So-
what if tomorrow we plan a little get together? We invite a couple of the guilds we talked to today. You and I can go see about getting those rings made, and we will also send, I guess, whoever would like to go to collect their reward.
I think Roisin should go since she was the one who made the connection to begin with.
Yeah, I'll take care of the farmers. No worries at that. I'll stop by on the way to continue working with the dung carters.
So as Zader explains and starts to give you options for things to host a gala of some kind for some of these guilds.
Whatever the most expensive option is.
It's the expensive option is really as much as you want to spend.
How much money do we have?
Realistically, trying to
I'll give you a budget.
realistically, trying to organize a venue that would be proper, high class enough to really give the impression you want upon some of these guilds to give that display of wealth. Rent it out for a few hours, perhaps even a day, to host an event is going to run you realistically at least 250 gold.
Easy.
That's like the bottom bar that you can do to host an event of any kind.
Let's double
Do we
that.
get benefits for going
The
higher?
more you invest, the more wealth you display, the finer the catering, the better the
gaudier.
entertainment, the gaudier, literally. The more you show your wealth, the more effective it's going to be. Of course, there is a point where there's only so much you can do for a single day's event. Basically, in increments of 250 gold, the more you spend, the more effective your event is going to be.
Okay, so
It's
we want to
still
spend at least
contingent
1,000.
on you being able to take advantage of the situation. But the more you get, the better support you're going to have. Up to about, if you couldn't realistically for a single day's event. Again, we come back to how much gold this really is.
Yeah.
Can we make a
1250
multi-day
is
event?
about the upper. I mean, you can do more events, but you're basically gonna be paying the fee for each day.
12
1250 is about the top end of where like just throwing money at it isn't really gonna make it more
I
effective.
don't know.
12
We can have that.
1250 is fine. I mean, that's less than what we need in the arena. We'll make sure that in addition to it being gaudy, everything there will be the
Shiny.
best. Like, it's not just gonna be shiny.
150 gold is a lot of freaking money.
It's going to be
We're just
the
gonna glue
food.
the coins on the tables.
This is like impeccably catered. Like you have a servant staff that is there handling everything.
The
allowing,
entertainment,
Raz
different
is the
types of
entertainment.
entertainment.
We're just gonna
Rez
break.
is not the entertainment. I mean,
we're
you
gonna
can
break
be.
all of the gold down into copper. Use all of that to build the Gala location, and then make all the tables and furniture out of gold coins.
As you are hosting this, of course, the goal always in mind is to use this opportunity to bring the guilds more into your alignment of views here. And doing so while you are participating in this event yourself, diplomacy in society will be quite effective. Hold on.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. But, Rez, you have found a great amount of success in the city just coming in and immediately performing. You could absolutely use a performance check as well to much do what you had done originally. And with this investiture, this gala, you can come together. You can, up to like probably 2 of you can aid another on the primary if you want, but you cannot individually roll. This is more of a concerted, fronted effort. Like a bunch of you trying to do your own thing there isn't really going to make any more inroads than someone doing it super effectively. So up to 3 of you can come together. 2 of you can aid one, but you're only going to have 1 primary roll.
You guys want to aid me?
And that applies to each guild we invite.
That is to each event you host.
Oh. So
You
every
will
guild
be-
we invite gets influenced by
You will-
the main check.
Yes, you will be influencing 2 separate guilds with your events, because you're not gonna like be like you can't meaningfully interact and attempt to sway
Right.
like 6 different consortiums.
Well, we only have 3 that we could.
Yeah, so I mean, you can
Yeah.
do, with one gala you can do 2 simultaneously.
Yeah, I have one.
So probably fleshmongers and bakers.
So what we want to invite, Raz will go send
I
out the
already have
invitation.
mine.
Oh, if I can get the no, we can get the carters.
Yeah.
I get the street sweepers there as well. Their upper management, believe it or not, does not actually stink of poop.
Well, let us go with the fleshmongers and the street sweepers.
Can't let this investment go bad on a bad roll. Resume, a hero point from Dan Bennett 360 in the chat.
Right.
The fleshmongers will not be easy to sway to our side, but this will help.
So, do you want to host that on the next day, this upcoming Sunday?
No, we want to do
'Cause,
it
I mean,
Moon Day.
Like, you can,
No,
realistically,
Moon Day.
especially if you're getting, the dog people who
Nope.
don't even live here. Like,
Because
not a
what-
super religious group, those fleshmonger slavers.
so one of the
Yeah.
things I actually did want to do was on the Sunday, the religious day, when we go see the jewelers, to make the party even more glamorous. One of the favors I would like her to do would be to create a little like party favor, like something very tasteful, but decadent that we could give the representatives who come to the party as kind of a thank you for coming.
Okay. Well, let's move to that Sunday then, as you lay the plans and the groundwork for the party, things to be deposits to be paid, things to be organized on the following day, and then for the event to happen itself on Moon Day. Sunday, the 12th of Arostel. You're heading to the Jewelers Guild to try to organize this. What are the rest of you doing with this afternoon? Now, Catapesh is no less a religious city than basically any other within Galarian. That does not mean that like there is no one to contact. You can still meet with the guilds as normal, but it is notably a day of a bit of a lull in the general markets. There are not as many travelers are coming through. It is still an absolute thronging madhouse, but it's notably less dense in a lot of places. And again, particularly, it's a heavy focus on Serenite worship, and not rare Serenite worship. Very not rare Serenite worship. There is also a surprising amount of feasance paid to a totally independent pantheon that many of you may be unfamiliar with, which is the Osirian pantheon. They actually worship a completely separate, almost completely separate set of gods, which is quite literally the Egyptian pantheon. Like,
Anubis, Sobek,
Anubia, and Ra,
Set,
and
like,
that's
The entire Prince of Egypt
I
song.
was gonna say.
so there would be quite a few Osirian chapels, and they worship them more. It's less the individualistic. Like, I mean, you knew Rur, obviously. You've met the was it Shadecloak back in Kintargo that worships Zonkuthon. It is much less of them worshiping individual deific figures and more worshiping the pantheon as a whole. And these the various houses of worship and chapels within Catapesh that are dedicated to the Osirian pantheon will very much represent that. They're
like
not
the-
really dedicated to a god.
that's like the dwarven pillar that we went into.
Yeah, the dwarves do kind of have like the 5 that come together, but they do very much worship primarily Torag. and they worship the rest largely because they are the children of Torag, which is where they believe their divinity comes from in the first place. This is a little different because, I mean, the Egyptian relations are not like Greek complexity, but maybe a step down from that.
I meant more so because it's all hosted in a single
It
location.
would be more like that, yes. But still, you would be free to contact any of the guilds or establish anything that you wanted to stay. It's not like any of the businesses are closing. They'd make less money if they did that.
That sucks. Can't have that.
So if you're going to spend the day setting up the event,
And getting your rings.
can we do both?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to beat the Jewelers Guild. You're welcome to come with me.
I definitely want to go along because I want to have the Eye of the Wise set in a piece of false jewelry.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Oh, okay.
That's
so
what
it
we
can be
gave her.
removed and used.
Okay, so you're gonna be commissioning some specific things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So you two are both headed off to do that. How about you? And Marshall is, I don't know why I'm asking you what you're gonna do. You're gonna go continue screaming, "Fight me!" at the arena.
I
Rasheen.
got to be out there with my boombox every day until she answers.
Rashida's, I'm gonna keep working the Duncarters, and honestly, it's like if I get up high enough to the point where it's like, you know, hey, you're CEO of this big organization. Why don't you come to this party?
I'm the CEO of the Poop Wagon. Nice to meet you. My name is Jimmy Poop Wagon.
You know, believe it or not, the CEO of Waste Pro does wear a suit. I mean, just saying.
I'm sure this guy wears a suit too.
Rez, how about you?
Raz is gonna
Not
go
like
back to the
cut off at the
bakers.
sleeves kind
Gonna
of
be
suit.
very
Still
persistent about
working
this.
your,
Yeah,
your
trying to
business
work it.
here. So we'll get to you two at the end last. We'll start with you three. You're working your way on the bakers. You want to give me your diplomacy then?
Actually, Raz is gonna try a different tack this time.
Okay.
He's gonna compile all the information he's got, and doing the one thing he knows best, and that's telling stories. He's gonna start sewing stories, and like just as he's talking to individual small people, the things that Triad has done that will look bad on their business if they continue to associate with the Triad.
Oh, you're gonna Chick-fil-A him. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna Chick-fil-A him.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right.
So, I want to use my performance for this. As
Okay.
I'm just telling
that's fitting.
stories. Yep. So the bonus I got from Connection, what kind of bonus is that?
I believe it is actually circumstance on the connections because it is literally the circumstance. It is
Okay.
that you know these people in Catapesh. It is a benefit from the city itself.
Wow, I have rolled like 3 4s. For a total of a 33.
33.
Yeah, I've rolled very low.
It is. You find yourself, while some individuals are receptive to this, the guild as a whole really is not. But I will give you an opportunity because Mr. Jake the Impaler has literally just handed you a hero point. Play the trumpet better, Ratman.
Play that.
If you want to use it immediately,
Yeah, I'll use it
we'll let you
immediately.
do that.
Automatic
Yeah,
refund.
It pulls out the trumpet and
Right
polishes
back
it
into
and plays the
chaos.
trumpet. And
Oh,
the
you guys
Taz is
don't
gonna help out more.
All right.
We gotta get the act together, boy.
Play the trumpet better, Ratman.
Is that another 4?
Oh, it's 6.
It's
It's better.
It's
Higher
better.
than 4.
Um,
36
that
then?
is better.
35? You told me 33 out of 4, so I'm assuming it's 35 out of 6.
yes.
It's
Math.
the same thing.
Yeah.
You find these individuals somewhat receptive, and like obviously there's some personal, like Catapesh is, believe it or not an entire city of exclusively people who support slavery. They just support making money more than they support abolition. But the business as a whole, this doesn't really catch. They're the bakers and the butchers. They're those that provide the food for the city, that keep the citizens, the public, fed. Their businesses are going to be in demand regardless of who they ally with. And slavery, while it's like you can't literally take slaves in the middle of the city, it is... Are you okay? It is not something that...
Getting something out of my purse.
Okay. I was just like, if we could pause for a minute. You're not glued to your chair. You can like...
We know she's not glued to her chair. She fell out of it.
And I hate you.
That's fair.
Doesn't he have the glue?
Their connotations to this, they don't feel is going to make a meaningful impact on the business. And this is the first day you've been here really that you don't really feel like you've made any headway with the guild.
We're finding the DC thanks to your terrible dice rolls.
Roshin, my fellow Nick, should not be without Mr. T, 1976 hero points coming out here today. And now it is your turn, my good friend, as you return to the Guild of Sleepers and Carters.
All right.
to continue relating to the common man with your athletics, I assume.
Essentially, yeah. Man, another wagon with its wheel broken. Let me help you move that.
What are you, Jean Valjean all of a sudden?
Apparently, I don't know how else to use athletics
Who
to
knew you could
influence an organization.
Bench press your way into political support.
Look at how much poop I can lift.
Better.
So much poo. 36. Wait, was
It's a
it
9.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, 36.
You are continuing to ingratiate yourself to the guild. You find some supportive ears amongst their ranks. You're still speaking with like middle tier here, but progress is certainly being made. And Marshall, screaming at a building with a +1 because not yesterday a lot of people heard you, and you're kind of getting some whispers of like, yeah, that'd be a great fight actually. And today is Sunday. This is their main event day when the arena is absolutely packed. The crowds are thicker than they've ever been, and Sand Claus is actually in there. This is the day, my friend.
That's good. That's a nice
That's a
one.
44,
Nice.
including the +1.
With a 44. A lot of ears are hearing you. Sand Claus is there. Some of the gladiators, of course, ones are behind this because they see what you're going for here. But Sand Claus is not dumb. She has no reason to accept this. It's a challenge at the moment. You still can't even get to her. But you are definitely implanting the idea in a lot of the arena's patrons. You will have a +2 to attempts. This one works a little different. Instead of a series of successes, you were going to just grow a bonus until, we
Crack it.
hit it.
I'm not complaining about this
Get
whatsoever.
big. The two of you head back to the Jewelers Guild to meet once again with Ice Killer, who, of course, after everything you've done, you will have no difficulty in meeting with the guildmaster herself. She will immediately allow you through. And in fact, as you come into the guild offices in the first place, one of the people that you would meet immediately, or one that you would see, is one of the other artisans that you had saved. If you want to throw her art back up again.
Oh.
She is quick to clear out whatever she currently has going on her schedule to host a group of you. And after welcoming you back in, your brief introductions, I'm glad that you've returned, honestly. I never really felt like I got the opportunity to thank you properly for everything you've done. But
You look well.
I've gotten right back into the swing of things, really. Fortunately, the guild is not a helpless child. It can function perfectly fine in my absence. Our masters and our artisans have trained throughout their lives, and they're experts of their craft. Have a reputation for a reason. Simply cutting off the head isn't going to stop the guild. The Triad knew that. So that's not what they were after. But their messages have been received, and I don't think in a way that they wanted it to be. But no, you lavish me undue praise here. You owe me not even these simple social graces, and I, for one, owe you everything. I have taken the time, and it's fortunate that you have afforded me some days to do this, to organize a more proper thank you for your, well, I suppose we'll call them services rendered. And she has a box that is sitting on a table back behind her desk that she takes out. It's a simple teak box set with brass corners on each angle and a very simple latching mechanism of the same on the front. And she undoes it, flips the thing open, and opens the lid of this to display unto you material wealth, as only the Jewelers Guild could provide. An assortment of impeccably cut, flawless gems of a variety of different colors. A dozen in all, set within this case. Each only an inch or so apart from their companions. There are no settings, there's no rings or anything is attached to. These are the raw, perfected stones that she has
Resume's
going through.
drooling a little. Like there's actually like a little bit of drool.
Heavy breathing.
So I'm gonna look at Resume. Could you hand me the Eye of the Wise, please?
The what? Huh?
I will just take it out of her pocket, She's not paying attention.
Those are a lot of shinies.
And looking at the guildmaster, this little gem right here is exactly why we are here today. And I will touch it to one of her gems.
I will immediately, of course, transform to take the appearance of that.
I would like to disguise this with a false copy on myself.
I'm not going to pretend to understand entirely what the thing is, but if you discovered some sort of alchemy that can perfectly replicate the masterpieces I've placed before you, I dare say you'll drive us out of business.
No, not exactly.
I'll take my little amethyst out and touch it. It only looks like whatever you touch it to.
It's designed to be a connection so that he and I can communicate with each other over distance.
Oh, this is the thing that you'd shown me before, right? I remember the amethyst now. Sorry, you'll forgive me. The details of the day somewhat escaped me. It was
I'm not
quite an eventful
surprised.
evening. Yes, of course, that's something I can do for you. So you're looking for something to conceal the gem entirely, for something to...
Like a ring that we could both wear. It looks less conspicuous than a rock in my pocket.
Oh, okay. So you're not looking for some sort of a setting that would fully hide the gem.
No need.
That's fair enough, and something that would be easily enough done. If you leave the pair, you want to set with those amethysts, or do you want something... Please, allow me to do something more fabulous for you after what you've done for me. At the very least, one of the masterpieces I've placed before you.
Maybe the red one. The red one's really pretty.
It's
You
an
can
imperial
choose.
ruby, it's called. These are actually taken far from the south. And she pulls this out. It's carved into almost elliptical, with enough sides to look nearly rounded on its edge as they almost fractally combine on their way up till the flat top face, taking up about 2/3 of the size of the gem itself.
It's flawless. Who cut it? They're a master.
Well, this is the least they could do to thank you personally. This is from one of my men that was with me on that very day.
That's so nice. He didn't have to make me something himself.
Well, basically, the indecision's up to you. Anything that you touch this to, it will take the appearance of.
Well, then allow me, if you will, the breach to claim back one of these dozen gems
yeah.
before you, to match and pair with that. And give me a day, and I'll have it ready for you by tomorrow.
And
We'll put our time into this. This is, of course, anything you need from us is our top priority.
If it is doable, have this removable.
Something we can manage, I'm sure. We can configure a small, simple clasp on the side, something that wouldn't really be visible to casual observation, but something that could be rolled, perhaps, with a thumb to unseat the gem, something that will keep it safe in, well, the kind of business you seem to find yourselves in. I imagine if you do much more than what I've seen you for. And what I've heard, I was told a tale from some of my folk here that had seen a very interesting spectacle in the arena this 12-day past, involving a lizard man and a rat and a dwarf and two women much matching, a description that I found strangely familiar.
Yes, that was us.
Calling
Yeah.
themselves the heroes of Breach Hill.
Yeah, we're
That
dumb.
was not us.
Your name is
that
terrible.
was not our decision. That was her decision and the dwarf.
See, there's a lot more to running a business now than simply being good at swinging a sword around. You could use a marketing team. But that is neither here nor there. And honestly, truth be told, even this work I can do for you, setting both of these in a pair of, would you prefer rings or bangles? Something out of your hand's way.
That is entirely up to you.
Bangles actually would interfere with my casting. A ring would be much better.
Fair enough. Rings it'll be then. I think if we take this Imperial Ruby, I have a silver that'll match it perfectly fine. It's a bit darker than a traditional set, but it'll really draw out the color of this gem. But this is simply from the guild. None of this is a thank for me personally. And after what you've done, after the risks that you took, there's only one piece in my possession I think could do well to thank you properly. And she puts the lid back on the box with this Imperial Ruby she has set out on the side, that she pulls out a small little almost corner of felt, folded over to set it in, and just leaves it on her desk. Latches the box and slides it towards you before she walks out behind her desk. But follow me back to the show floor.
I mean, in all honesty, what you all have done is very generous. Your friendship is lovely, and you're very, very nice.
Don't mistake my curtness for an attempt to be rude, but I'll not take any argument on this. Please, follow me.
I'm coming.
Going
Says
along.
as she reluctantly walks along.
And she'll take you back down to the entryway where they actually have The Jewelers Guild, perhaps unique among the guilds, actually has a showroom built into their main office hall itself. Of course, they don't work in great numbers of things. Much of their business is actually done right here on this absolutely exquisite floor, where a variety of diamonds and sapphires and gemstones of all kinds are on display, both in their raw form and set into an assortment of unbelievable jewelry. But there was a display case that you will have seen that perhaps doesn't even really stand out amongst everything else they have in this main chamber. That is a sapphire set on a gilded pillow near the size of a chicken's egg. The thing is massive, and it is carved with no flat faces at all, but sculpted in a much similar shape, a flatter ellipse around that catches and reflects the light in a way that, looking into it, shows you a reflection of an inversion of what's behind it. And she takes you around to this. Many bards who've come to Catapesh, or even the cities where this gem has rested before, have written stories about the Thuvian Star.
The what?
Thuvian Star.
Can I get a...
She takes a small key that she clearly doesn't always carry on her, but is brought down for this express purpose out, and reaches down around the side of the thing. You can, it would be a name. You are not a jeweler. Roll me a society check, Resume.
Can I?
I
also
mean,
roll
girls like
You
shiny
roll it, too.
things.
one? Yeah.
You like jewelry.
And he likes shiny things.
I thought he liked sealing ankles.
That too.
Ankles could be
I got a 36.
You may have heard the name in passing. Like, it's something you're like, I feel like I've heard that before, but you wouldn't know any specifics of it.
I got a 39.
For the 39, you certainly would have heard tale of the Thuvian Star before. You would have no direct connections for it. But Malkir would be more than happy to explain some of its storied pedigree, the various emperors and queens that at various times have worn it borne atop a staff. One mad enough to have attempted to set it into a crown that had to be strapped down and worn like a bicycle helmet for it to sit on his head. More concerned with the show than the logic behind the thing. But really it has just been, it's an absolute centerpiece of any collection. One of the greatest displays of wealth that a nobleman could have, perhaps, is at any point having just even briefly known to have owned the Thuvian Star. And as she opens this massive sapphire, it sits taking up near her whole palm. She doesn't grab it, of course, with her hand. She takes like a special off-white cloth that she reaches in to wrap around just to pull it and the pillow out safely, and extends the entire thing to you.
Resume's eyes get really, really big, and she takes it, and she kind of looks a little lost for words. And she kind of nods, and she goes, you know, believe it or not, I actually think that this might be very helpful in taking down the triad.
Wait, hold on. Do you want to play a prank on some of your workers? Touch the stone to this one. Just
No.
There's no way
say
that
we-
thing is going to be able to take the shape of the Thuvian Star. It's massive.
Just do it. We'll say we found another one. It
Well,
will be
that's
funny.
Back in my office. Allow me a moment. I simply have to see if this can function.
I mean, Resume's down.
She turns back and goes back to her office for a brief moment and comes back down with the little amethyst, or the imperial ruby that it had turned into, and takes it up. There's no way. This thing.
I do not know, but it will be interesting.
Resume kind of crosses her fingers.
And she takes it and she touches it to the Thuvian Star. And immediately, the Eye of the Wise expands to like the size of an egg. But as it does, while it takes, and she kind of struggles to hold on to it because she has this tiny ruby in her fingers, and it's an egg. While it takes the shape and the general hue, it is duller. It is a bit foggy. At this size, the impurity of the copy the Eye of the Wise makes becomes much more apparent. When you tap it down to a smaller gem without an expert's eye and a jeweler's glass, you wouldn't really be able to easily tell the difference. But it is clearly not the Thuvian Star. Looking more like an elliptical hunk of blue quartz than anything else. It's even a bit rough, not perfectly smooth around its edges. All right, that was a fair bit more than I expected it to do, I'll admit. But at least my entire industry may continue to exist.
We have never really experimented with it. It's interesting to see what happens at a larger scale.
You would think that.
A part of me dared to hope such a thing would be possible, and perhaps, if some of the tales of alchemy I've heard are true, somewhere it is. But not here and not that easily, at the very least.
So here's my thought. We are out to convince the populace that perhaps supporting the Scarlet Triad is no longer in their best interests.
I've heard.
As part of our mission to do that, we're going to be hosting a party on Monday.
Kind of looks back down to the Thuvian Star.
And we were thinking, I was thinking, now that this is here, that it could be a party to sort of show this off. And that in order to get the heads of the guilds, the more powerful to come, that the invitation could include a very small replica of it. To sort of
Looks down at the Eye of the Wise.
to not something that's necessarily made out of sapphire, but something eye-catching, something that would get their attention and whet their appetite for the party.
Lapis lazuli comes to mind, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Or maybe a darker shade of turquoise. Certainly I could fetch you a few dozen simpler semi-precious stones of a smaller size and general shape. Can have them ready by the evening, even.
I'd like to commission them into small pins, if that would be possible. Just let me know what the price of the work is, and I'll happily pay it.
Please, for something so simple, something that has no true material value and work won't take an artisan more than perhaps an hour, I wouldn't think to charge you.
But anyway, if we're going to make an impression, this makes quite an impression.
It does. Then perhaps it seems my gift has come at an opportune time, then. Hopefully it'll serve you well.
If for nothing else, I would like your generosity to go to good use.
And I would like to see the Scarlet Triad chased screaming through the streets of Catapesh by Zephyr Guard, or rather, I suppose, the Pact Master's strange robots.
We'll put a hip
Maybe we'll
sauce.
both get what we wish in the near future.
I'm going to have them do it unclothed, because that will make it even more embarrassing.
And have it no other way.
They won't get that far.
But your day here greatly successful. You have, in this case that she's given you, she's taken the Imperial Ruby to set into rings, but each of the 11 stones that remain would easily be worth 50 platinum apiece, just in their raw form. What she'd given you was 6,000 gold and extremely precious gemstones. The Thuvian Star, perhaps putting a simple price tag on might be slightly difficult, but
No, we're not putting a price on that. That's
No,
not going anywhere.
What we're going to do is we're going to have the Thuvian Star as the centerpiece with the smaller ones around it.
you're making like an infinity gauntlet. Okay, fair enough.
But that's going to be like one of the, on the floor, that'll be one of the attractions.
Okay. I mean, that'll flex some wealth that you're like, hey, is this. The thing as you
But more to the
finish your
point,
conversation to leave here, she would point out that the Thuvian Star, to any who would recognize it for what it is a known quantity that has been known to be in the possession of the Jewelers Guild. So you should certainly at least be prepared for that conversation.
that's the
because
conversation I want
that's the
had.
conversation you want. It is
Hey, you
a
know,
great segue
we
into, you know,
rescued
why
someone from the Scarlet
Guildmaster
Triad.
gave you the Thuvian frickin' Star.
I
Because
think it makes a really nice
A
point.
light
it's
for
a
a
good
light.
talking point,
Yeah,
isn't it?
spectacular.
Just fantastic. So the group of you,
So before I forget,
Oh.
because I also forgot the Farmers Guild existed yet again.
as you head back, Miss Lalia Khalid
Didn't
would
I
be
ask who wanted to go to the farmer's guild?
I volunteered again.
would be similarly.
We killed the monster. It's not on my radar.
Yeah, similarly thankful. You have done a good amount for them, and both she would express her certainty that she will support you at the Council of Guilds, but also
finest
Similarly.
ear of corn they have ever grown.
Ah, it's 3 feet tall.
How about a sack of 300 platinum pieces? I think that's a little easier.
Oh, yeah.
So you're saying that the gala is free and the next 15 galas are free?
Look, the Farmers Guild doesn't really have the Thuvian onion
This is my prize
to
pumpkin.
present you with. They don't have
But if it's
It
an
grew
onion, then it
3
has
feet
layers.
wide.
the blue ribbon hog. You know.
Blue ribbon hog, you take
Express your
Obis.
gratitude more directly through business.
Have you ever seen a tomato like the size of like?
Here is a pile of money, and you have our support. Have
One of
no
the
fear.
automatons that walks around the city pooped out the Thuvian Star.
Rise
got
gonna die.
scooped up
15
by
thinks
the
the bard
pooper
needs a
scoopers.
hero point. Take
And they
this
didn't
back.
know
Or
what
don't
Does
spend
need
it
a hero
immediately.
point.
maybe.
I'm not.
You're going to immediately.
I'm dead.
As the group of you
I'm dead.
return back to Zader's estate, arriving again fairly early in the evening. This Sunday, Zader would have been there as you left, and Zader would still be here when you return, dressed in a much simpler, much more comfortable gown. She doesn't appear to have really gone anywhere today.
Looks like she's wearing roughly the same thing she always
Perhaps shut up. Perhaps not. It would be something much more akin to what she's actually wearing in the art, and almost like toga-like, simple white wrapping. But even this, clearly the cloth made of some degree of finery, looking to be like a heavy folded silk of some kind. Not so much embossed as trimmed with a silver thread that just adds it a little air of elegance. Probably the plainest thing Zader owns. She seems to take her fashion somewhat seriously, rather.
We had an interesting day.
As did I. I did not expect you to be forwarding your mail here, but then again, jokes aside, there is certainly much more to that than this.
I pass her a loaf of bread about this long.
That is a baguette.
I think at that
Sure.
point it's probably called that.
It's whatever. It's bread this long.
You see, I did not hear a messenger arrive. They did not announce themselves nor make themselves known. But I noticed an envelope on the porch.
I am willing to guess who this one might be.
You think the iconography gives it away? And she turns it back over to the flap on the back, which is sealed with a black wax stamped with a figure of a hand
It is exactly who I thought it would be.
upon
Oh,
it.
they want to give us a high five.
It seems you have made some interesting connections in your time here.
Oh yeah, we also found a centerpiece for the party. She'll reach
out a
into the bag
tombstone.
of holding and pulls out the Thuvian stone.
Her eyes just kind of widen, and she like reaches up to her glasses to go to like almost reflexively to remove them, and stops herself. That was almost very unfortunate for you.
Oh my god,
That's-
42 saves.
Well, I suppose after what you have done, it is perhaps fitting, but I did not expect the guildmaster to simply hand you the freaking Thuvian Star.
I didn't ask for it. We didn't ask for it. I tried to demur, but she insisted.
Why would you
I'm
demur?
so glad you didn't demur. I'm with Zadar on this one.
Do not worry. If she had said no, I would have gone back
Be
later
the
and
first
taken
in
it.
the history of this stone to turn it down, I am sure.
But anyway, I was thinking it could make a good centerpiece for the party. We actually got little pins made of replicas of it for the invitations.
And you would literally have those already. didn't
Yeah,
you? Sorry,
I understand.
Oh, Roshin, by the way, pull out that case with the 11 other 500 platinum apiece.
Well, if
gems.
you had
Oh my
any,
goodness.
if you had any doubt as to my allegiances, the fact that I do not spring the ambush and strike you all down at this very moment, for simply this, there should be all the assurances I could ever provide you.
Well, actually, I was thinking of taking one of these gems and making you a nice, new band with one of the gems in the middle. I was thinking the green one would be really pretty.
Well, I, for one, am not stupid enough to decline such an offer and would very much welcome it.
I think it would be a beautiful idea to thank her for her hospitality.
I didn't think that she could betray us. Now that she said that, that is a very good point. We just trusted her completely and totally.
You have come into my home and partaken of my bread
Ice
and
cream.
my water.
I've
It was
been
ice cream. It's
She-
very good.
She did.
We've been
no
feeding
thoughts
her
as
hair.
to the fact that I could perhaps be manipulating.
You have a
This
very
is
trustworthy face. What can I say?
something I have been told many times.
Yes,
you
yes,
see.
yes.
That's why I go to great pains to hide it in public, lest I inadvertently take advantage of the poor businessman.
And I really like Simon.
Fortunately, I have no fear of him eating precious gems.
It is shaped
But-
like an egg.
This distraction notwithstanding, I believe this may be worth acknowledgement as she motions back to the note. Before we open it, though, perhaps we should take our own break here.
Yep.
Arsenic.
A good. We all make fortitude saves next time you gotta
Well-
take any her ice cream. Yeah, she's like, you know what? I hate the Scarlet Triad, but whoo boy, that's the Thuvian Star. Sorry, like.
I mean, as long as I don't roll one, you know.
Against arsenic, no one has to worry.
Look,
Even Raz.
all that's gonna happen is I'm gonna use shrink item. I'm gonna turn it into an earring. We're gonna walk around wearing it. No one's gonna be the wiser.
The whole point of it is for people to be the wiser.
I'll be
though.
No,
the
that's after.
saddest use of the Thuvian Star ever, but it's a thing you can
Not the
do.
crown.
Well, okay.
I
Second.
just like the idea of
Second
like.
status.
I like the idea of like to take this careful place, hand it like this, and then we just the adventurers take
Yeah,
it,
I
throws it in
know.
their pocket.
Like,
with
cool,
their,
thanks.
with their car
You
keys
just
and-
drop it with their severed heads and your shrunken, beat up
Put
bits.
it in the bag
and
with all
like,
the manacles.
like triad manacles just bashing around in there.
It's a rock. It'll
We're
be
gonna
fine.
take our midstream. We're gonna take our midstream break, everybody.
Worst woman ever.
We will be back in a couple of minutes. You probably got 5 to 10 to get some snacks, refill your drinks.
The Thuvian
Not you
rock.
miss anything but some old highlights before we return. We come back though, a message from an unseen group that may
Ah,
call our attention here.
pretty handy.
Stay tuned, everybody.
The
Be right
unknown
back.
backslap.
Welcome back, everybody. Sorry to interrupt the highlight shenanigans, but we need to do the regular shenanigans. But if you want to see any more of those, or, you know, the YouTube repository of literally this entire adventure so far, we're on like 78 episodes or something, I think is where we're at since we started the Age of Ashes. We had over a year and a half ago. Can I say that now? If not, we're close.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean,
mean,
I
it sounds
really,
pretty accurate.
I don't think about the other episodes anymore. I have the Thuvian Stone. I have like better things to think about.
Resume 1.
Like I win. Like I'm fine.
You had your win condition. You could literally just build a museum around that. YouTube.com/2perception, number 2 perception, takes you to our everything.
So when are we going to start doing 2 Age of Ashes episodes a week?
When we get sponsored for that, and also, you know, it's physically possible to get 6 people on the same time schedule to do it for just the 4 hours of showing part,
Yeah.
not to mention all of the other stuff.
No, we'll do 8 hours, but we'll do it over 3 days.
We left
just to
off?
really
We had come back to Zader's estates with Thuvian Star and a lot of dollars to discover a message that had been left for us during the day. She takes it and hands it to whoever happens to be physically closest to her at that point and is not Marshall.
I'm going to say Raz.
Yeah, Raz
handed
is
it
for the
definitely.
baguette.
Hand it down to Rez.
Oh, don't rip it into pieces.
Why would I rip it into?
You always rip pieces off of things.
I do
You think-
see that you are covered in a large amount of what appears to just be shredded paper.
Oh, it's not shredded paper. It's pages out of books. Only the interesting or important papers out of books. Sometimes books have a lot of this information the author likes to talk about. They like to talk about themselves a lot, and it's a lot of inflated ego. Anyways, the letter.
She doesn't say anything to that. She just kind of cocks her head a
Just,
bit.
I pull one out. I was like, take this.
Did we check it for contact poison?
Oh, hopefully.
It's a little bit late for that. 2 people have already
I have
touched
no
it.
context for this. This is the middle of a story.
Well, yeah, that's the important part of the story, though.
But I don't know any of these characters. I don't.
Didn't you build upon it yourself? Can you not build upon a story
I
yourself?
can't help but feel like you have missed the point of the rest of the book.
The rest of the book is boring.
Welcome to our
But
stream.
this page is useless without its brothers.
I just don't think about it. That's my
Oh,
advice.
let me help you.
You actually started slowly tearing pages out of a book one time. It actually was like grating on my ears. I didn't know what to make of it.
Well, it's
I'll
not-
cast Forgotten Lines, and I'll see if I can't get the rest of the chapter to appear.
I don't know if Forgotten Lines is gonna give you. That's the rest
The chapter.
of a book that you tore a page out of. I think it's more meant to do the other thing, to give you the missing page out of the rest of the book. I don't think it's going to extrapolate the book out of a single
But it
page because there's
Just cast it
nothing
in.
missing in the information
It's
that's
one of those
here.
AIs write a story.
It gives you
Descends
a book.
into some cleverbot crap real
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
Oh, gonna open it.
If you
We're all waiting.
Yeah, I just
Opening it up.
Don't worry, we'll cure you later. if it
There
turns
is
out.
just a single card on the inside on plain parchment, no embellishment, nothing fancy about it, with a surprisingly, perfectly legible but surprisingly rough hand. There's no fancy script in here. This is far from a Gala invitation as you've been organizing here. A couple of brief sentences. You're an interesting sort, and I'd give you an interesting proposition. Red Daba. 2 hours after sunrise this coming wheel day. Nothing more.
Red Daba.
Well, I believe that we have ourselves a date. I assume that would be a pub.
It is a tavern near the ports, I believe. Not one I have frequented myself. I do not believe I have ever been inside. The port taverns are unpleasant.
A bit rough.
Raz, is there anything in that letter that's not what it looks like, and
I
any
was-
ciphers?
I was gonna ask, is there? Can I look it over and make sure it's not like backward speak or?
What is the deciphering thing?
I think it's
Society.
society.
Society
Yep.
now? Yeah. Give me a society check, Russ.
Ha! Oh.
So you have to shout when you roll.
Yeah. Apparently it's
Yeah. It's the same thing I do
Pull the
playing any
brand.
video game.
Yeah.
46.
With a 46, as you look down at this, you can see that it is. That is all the information that is intended to be imparted on this card. There is nothing else on here that is something that you're looking for. However, looking it over, looking very carefully for anything else you might find, you do see a very thin, askew overlay of incredibly shallow impressions, as if this, perhaps even in its envelope, had sat on a desk and had something else written atop it. You can't make out much of what it is. It seems to just be a letter of some kind, but you can make out the signature at the bottom and a name that's that ends up askew and underneath the actual text of this. That's with a small bit of ink and a gentle touch becomes legible. Udasha Starshield.
I say that word for Rasheen right in her book. I'm not gonna.
It's not a very dwarven sounding name. Not one that's super. All kinds are here in Catapesh, really, but not the kind of name you'd come to expect here. It'd be more like the Lalia Khalid and Zader.
Well, I believe that we have a name of a prominent member if we have been invited by them.
A name that they didn't intend for us to have.
We'll keep it a secret. We know it for now.
Pass the letter to Sheik for safekeeping.
Right in the bag of holding.
I don't trust my bag of holding. This stuff goes missing.
Instead of the bag of holding,
Mataz goes in there sometimes. Makes a nest.
I think would be a good idea to perhaps burn. At least,
You sure we might not need the invitation when we show
Yeah,
up?
I'm thinking we should keep
I
that.
suppose they'll know who we are after all.
If
They
we
went through all
were
the trouble
able to
getting it
deliver
us.
this here, and I am quite certain it is not intended for myself, refers to a plural, I think they know enough about their targets to be able to know who it is that is arriving.
You've got to go call us targets. Really? You have to say targets? We might not be being targeted.
We're
Do you
always
have
being
a better
targeted.
word given these circumstances?
this was definitely a targeted note.
I'd say
It is an offer to meet in a public tavern, which is interesting. This is neutral ground, perhaps. Even if it was something they could control, something they could even fill with plants, it is amidst the busy ports. It is also quite open to the air. A salty breeze blows through it as a feature, apparently. But it is something that if they were to raise a ruckus, it would be quite visible and known.
Well, it's not the worst first date location I've ever been invited to.
I would be surprised if this was intended to be some kind of deception, at least on the scale of an ambush or something dangerous. even attempting to do something as simple as poisoning you there would be brash.
If there was going to be poison, it would have been on this card.
Oh.
Very true. That is a wise observation, and one I had considered. But the envelope I figured safe enough.
Yes, it would not be on the envelope. It wouldn't be in a place someone who was not intended would accidentally touch it.
If nothing else, it ensured that I would not go prying through the mail of my guests. But still, it strikes me as the location that one would pick to ensure a degree of safety for those visiting,
And anonymity.
and, if necessary, anonymity.
And
Well-
bad smells.
Do as you will. This is in 3 days' time, the coming wheel day, which means, fortunately, this does not interfere with tomorrow's events, which we should finish planning in earnest
Absolutely.
now that we have this. I still cannot believe this is the real Thuvian Star. And you would be able to finish organizing everything around this as a centerpiece as well as you can.
And we'll take the pen and attach it to very, very nice cardstock and handwrite.
We're same day inviting these boys.
Yeah.
We're going.
It's
We're big business. You can drop whatever you're doing and you're going to come hang out with us.
Yep.
Well, that coming moon day, after a rest and a morning of preparation and organization as well as you can, who is going to be attending this gala? Again, you can only make one primary role, but the two of you can come assist if you wish.
I would like to be there. I think Raz should definitely be there.
So as part of the setup, actually, I want to go ahead and throw this little fun thing in. Wherever the star is, its centerpiece, I'm going to cast above it illusionary scene and have instruments floating above it playing nice, soft music constantly as an 8th level spell, so it just keeps going all day long. Doesn't stop.
Solid. You got the highlights here. You can even like illusory scene like the spotlights down on this thing. You can organize this in a very lavish fashion. But are you going to be there with the
Yes.
gala to assist Resme as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Third person's up to them. It could be either myself or
We don't
Roshan.
have to bring 3 because you only get one primary role.
Yeah, but
So
there's no
it's-
reason not to bring 3.
Well, you could be primary rolling somewhere else.
Yeah.
Is the thing. Like there is. I mean, you're definitely making sacrifices to put a bunch of people here, but it's something you've invested in. So it's up to you guys if you want to put a third person, or if you guys want to strike out and do other things.
I plan on using diplomacy, so if you're
I
willing.
was going to use performance.
You can use different ones to aid each other. Like you can.
Okay.
You
If
can use
wanna-
diplomacy to aid performance, or vice
Okay,
versa.
perfect.
Do both
'Cause it is-
aiders count as a benefit? Or just the best aider of the
You
two?
can both aid. You can like double aid it. Yes, you can stack the benefit twice. This is one of the rare circumstances where you can aid multiple times,
So-
and you will get like a multiplicative bonus. That's why it's limited.
What if you 3 go, us 2 go to arena?
You gladiator go?
Because I'm perfectly well trained in athletics.
I can dress you beautifully.
Rashine's great at this. Looking at her skill list.
You can choose to go somewhere else if you don't
Contemplatively.
want to.
You'd be better to assist because your deception's probably better.
I
I don't need deception.
Oh, we need diplomacy, don't we?
Yeah, you're trained.
I'm
no,
only
we're all,
trained.
We're all just trained. It doesn't matter. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Roshin can stay home.
And besides, you're a beautiful centerpiece to go along with the jewel.
Not
at
on
least after,
Catapesh, I'm not.
at
I
least
will
after
probably
dressing you.
scare people, whereas you'll at least have some of the men entertained.
I'll just look uneasy. I will make them uneasy, but like still look good. So.
That's all that matters.
I mean, you have a pretty good charisma from what I remember.
Oh
so-
yeah, no, Roshin can work it, but it's, it's one of those like she might murder me, but I might not mind kind of thing.
Sweetheart, with the
She's
dress
not
I'm
married,
gonna
but I
put
might like it.
with
No,
the dress
but
I'm gonna put you in, nobody's gonna care about
think-
anything that comes out of your mouth.
Fully aware of
Hey,
the dresses that you have stored.
So what are
Miss
you
Shishik.
two doing, Trishik and well, okay, what are
Athletics,
you
we're
doing,
flexing in
Trishik?
front of the arena.
Nice.
I think
Flexing backflips.
I have a solution for
I was about to say, you
resume
could
putting
be
you in a
helping.
dress.
Mm-hmm.
Just the hat of disguise. You put the hat on and then you activate it, and then you're just dressed however you want to be dressed, with not wearing the corset or the dress.
No, I think she should wear the dress.
I don't think you should make Roshin uncomfortable.
Roshin is not uncomfortable. Roshin just likes to think she's uncomfortable. Roshin likes looking hot. She just doesn't like to
face-
admit it.
I get the feeling that you're making a lot of value judgments about what I think I should look like, but you know it's fine. I'll go along with it.
Don't
never
forget,
get
I
to
have
dress you
16
up.
strength, and
Last
I'm a
time I
master
believe
of
it was
athletics.
Kantara.
So the two of you head out to the arena to continue screaming at Sandclaws.
I'll be screaming. He'll just be flexing.
Are you aiding one
Backflips.
another, or
Separate
are you
checks.
separate rolling?
Yeah.
If you both succeed, you're not gonna. It's not super gonna help because you're still gonna get a day's worth of progress on this.
Okay.
Because Marshall at this point has kind of realized that it's gonna take one like big push to tip Sandclaws' hand
And I already
make
have a
her
+2,
step.
but
Two people rolling increases the odds of a 20.
That's fair. That is up to you. You guys do as you please. You
and
can.
I still got my +2, right?
You have your +2, yes. I believe you both have your +2 because it's public opinion. It's not like Raz's thing. It's public opinion.
Oh, okay.
Is changing. So you both have the +2 Marshall's built up over the last 2 days.
I think it's better to roll separate. It
I
raises the odds of a higher roll.
I agree with that.
So give me, Marshall, let's start with you. Give me your athletics check, good sir.
I mean, I was going to try spooky, but because
Oh, intimidation,
it's
right, you're
one better.
intimidation.
It's
That was-
one better.
One
That's-
better matters.
One better
No,
matters.
yeah. Do you intimidate? I just said the wrong thing. I was thinking
You're good, dude.
about Trishik.
It's all good.
I'm flexing. He's screaming.
I am going to spend a hero point for that.
As you should.
Get big. Get angry. Get scary.
All right.
You want to roll the Draugr dice?
No.
It's gonna be fine.
Are you kidding
That's
me?
the exact same roll.
It's the exact same roll.
Welcome to my world.
This is why we roll separately.
Okay, well, on my intimidation, apparently I kind of bit my tongue in the middle of yelling. So it's only going to be a 34.
I got a
Is
40.
that with the +2?
Yeah,
With 34.
I bit my tongue.
Marshall's present. I mean, you brought Trishik, maybe Trishik's just overshadowing you here with his physical might, and you're just wordlessly, you're scaring people.
See, I can use perfect distraction to go along with it. So there's two of me flexing for a 42.
42 is that with a +2?
Yep.
You guys have a +3 to further checks to continue to call out Sandclaws. The stack grows.
Get out here.
But still, well, at this point,
Can I roll twice because there's two of me?
no. Well, at this point, we're all been certain that Sandclaws is aware of this challenge. There's no way now that she hasn't at least been told of this undermining that's happening in her very own guild. She still has no reason to accept it. She has not acknowledged it. You have not seen her. Unless you went into the arena on Sunday, in which case you would have seen her like up on her stand, but you
She's scared.
I mean, that's what I did the first time.
so she's got no reason to acknowledge this at all. Now, you have your gala today. What guilds are you bringing?
The purveyors of the flesh, because who doesn't want the flesh at the party?
Doglands.
Who doesn't
Okay.
want gnolls at your party?
Fleshmongers Federation is coming to the gala where we're displaying the Thuvian Star. It will
They deal in flesh,
security
not
will
rock.
Uh.
be tight.
Yeah. You just
Security will be
And-
us.
And
the bakers.
that's a combination. Hi, I'd like to bring the extremely violent island slave trader Knowles and Jim the Baker from down the road. Real good cherry tarts, man. Like he's
It really does.
you
So
got
you're saying is you know the Muffin Man.
you know them.
I know all of them. What do you think Raz has been doing for the past 4 days?
Whoa.
It's like a bar hop except for
Whoa.
bakeries.
Whoa.
I'm done.
Thanks for watching.
Okay, so
Do I think it'd be it's too premature because since I haven't even met any of the higher ups in the street sweepers?
you can
and-
bring whoever you want,
Okay.
but there's two you can influence at once with the gala.
Oh, I got you.
meaningfully,
I got you. Okay.
But we'll
because
still
this is-
invite them because it's still a good idea.
Yeah, it's not a bit,
There
but
might
you
be
can
some
you can
poop to
invite
scoop.
whoever you
Yeah,
want.
like,
But you
I'm
really like
gonna-
in this one event have the time to really.
I'm going to
Present
invite
yourselves
the
Pretty much everyone. that we've-
carpenters.
The
to it.
carpenters, the upright barristers.
No, no, no.
Everybody.
Everyone.
I mean, honestly, like the more effect we get, the better.
So, at this gala, diplomacy, performance, society, or appropriate lore are going to be what you can use to try to influence people here. Who is taking the primary role?
I will take the primary role.
Raz,
Raz.
the Mataz Jackson. So let's.
I got a question before. When I made my connections, you said something about a reroll. One influencing.
Yes, you have a single favor that you can call in. when you or someone you're working with makes when these downtime checks, you can pull that favor to reroll it.
Okay.
You're not technically supposed to be able to use hero points on these downtime checks because it's full day activities, and you're not supposed to be able to use hero points on what are
interesting.
what are
Okay.
functionally long-term events. Because it's supposed to be like single actions.
Oh,
But like
okay. I wouldn't
the
have done
hero
it.
point,
It's a
it
D20
re-rolls a
roll.
D20. It's like a meta mechanic already.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're not supposed to use fortune effect. Be able to use fortune effects on long-term things. And I
Interesting.
wouldn't let you use most spells and things on it, but I will let you use hero points. So it's not as impactful as it's probably intended to be because you're not supposed to be able to hero point them. But
It is a big deal, though. It's not a
favors
fortune effect.
is not a fortune effect. Well, it is a fortune effect, but I said it wasn't, so you could to give it the gravy it was supposed to have. 'Cause it's supposed to be the only reroll you have. I will let you use it with a hero point, like I said before.
Okay.
So if you really screw up, you're like, oh, hold on.
So, before you roll yours, let's get the aids. Roisin, we'll start with you. You're a diplomat.
Actually, I'm going to try to accompany Raz with performance.
Give me your performance then.
Not a 1. 31. I'm trained.
Untrained, critical success will give you a +2. Resume.
I'm gonna use diplomacy, and I am a master.
Okay. Pretty sure you're gonna get a +3, probably. Not a
Yeah,
1?
that's gonna be. It's not a 1.
Yeah, there's no way it's not at least
It's
a 30,
a
right?
36.
So that is going to give you a +3. So you will have a +5 on this roll from your 2 allies. Which again, normally would not stack, but for this situation, this is a big concerted fronted effort from the party.
And we are wearing some hot clothes.
How big is the bonus from
Right
the money
over
we
here.
spent?
I want to roll this in the tray.
Oh, right. And you spent, did you spend the full 1250?
Yep.
Yep.
That is an additional 4.
Okay,
so
so
you
we
will
got
actually
9.
have a +9.
So the trumpet is polished.
On this
Mataz
roll.
is trained. We got the dice tray over here.
Give it the 9.
is a big freaking bonus.
Plus
That's almost
40.
a degree of success. You're +40 to the roll.
That's a 4.
Yeah,
We're
definitely.
gonna-
You got that edge. You
We're
wanna
gonna
use that
call
edge?
that. We're gonna call in that favor. You know, I really don't know how Catapesh likes to party in Galas. I'm a rat.
You're from here.
But I look like I went to high society life.
That's fair.
He went to Rat
I
Society.
don't went to rat society.
He is a rat.
That's a 14.
So that's a total of a 54.
54.
Almost a fail. It's going to be a
Well,
critical
yeah, I
failure.
mean, obviously you're rolling to critically succeed here, and that's gonna do it. Your initial 4 would not have critically succeeded. So your favor.
It's almost like the 10-point difference of an entire degree of success makes a difference.
Of a degree of success. So went from a success to a critical success.
And then we rolled 10 higher on the reroll. So
Yeah.
it's like,
So your primary ones you're bringing with the Fleshmongers Federation and
Bread
the poop of the bakers on the poop wagon.
and poop.
And the poop. What adults.
The bread and the poop would go together quite nicely because the bread becomes poop.
No.
You keep
No.
having
Nope.
them have
No.
jobs.
No.
Your gala
You keep them in
would
business.
go off as an incredible success, a truly high-class affair within Catapesh that these guilds recognize and appreciate. The Fleshmongers Federation is here really to just deal in coin, and this shows that you, who would, even though Trishika just kind of approached them alone before and did grease them a little bit, you're the freaking Thuvian Star. Like, you're not a nobody in this game, and honestly, that's not a lot to get their support with you. The bakers don't usually get invited to the cool parties and are just happy to be there.
We brought some bread.
And I'm
But
happy
again,
they're here.
they realize
look at
seeing,
these little sandwiches.
Each one's a whole 5
seeing
gold.
this, and seeing the star, hearing some of the whispers of those stories, perhaps, of why it's come into your custody, is interesting. And they again kind of realize that you have arrived here in Catapesh as newcomers, but not by any means as a small force. The two of them are impressed. Neither from having a nice party thrown, are going to immediately say, all right, yeah, we'll vote against the Scarlet Triad at the Council of Guilds. But the bakers and the butchers are very receptive, and you need a little push from this point. We'll get them there. The fleshmongers are willing to listen. Now, more than that, this is a pretty spectacular event, which throughout the various guilds and the various consortiums of Catapesh is something that is going to be talked about for the coming days. So you will all get a +2 bonus to all the downtime influences you do
Nice.
for the next couple days.
Can
It
we
does not
apply
stack
that?
with your connections. They're both circumstance.
Can we apply that
No,
proactive-
because it's after today. Everybody, and you poll like, oh yeah, that was us. We did that. You are you're not the arena talk of the public anymore, but you're the talk of the upper echelons, people that you actually need to be influencing. And that is quite useful, so to speak. So, with a successful gala behind you, the Thuvian Star, the centerpiece, and the tale, really, of how it came into your grasp from the Jewelers Guild. Perhaps, maybe not in the full details. Not to the Fleshmongers Federation, who are very tight allies of the Scarlet Triad, maybe. But they're not allies. They're business partners. Like, they don't care about the Scarlet Triad. Don't mistake me here. They're just like, well, we make a lot of money through these guys, so
Yeah, but that's the Thuvian Star.
that is the Thuvian
That's a lot
Star,
of
though.
money.
Oh, that's the Thuvian Star.
Also, it makes the point that maybe their security's not as tight as you thought it was, and maybe they're not the secure partners
You
you
s-
thought they were.
You breached possibly the highest profile goods that they have had in months.
And we took
You
it
broke 'em
right
out.
out
And
from under.
And what are the odds? Either we're spectacular infiltrators, or maybe their security is just bad.
Have you seen this?
Have
Bonnie?
you seen us?
See, it's a good thing I'm not there.
Yeah.
because you couldn't make the excuse of-
Barbarian sneak.
With another successful day passing, this Moon Day Gala having been a resounding success, the group of you return back to Zader's estate to share your successes, to rest. Hosting an event like that is surely a draining event. I'm sure, and very especially Roisin is ready to faceplant into her mattress and never think of this again.
Until the next time that
Until the next
Resme
one.
wants to dress
Basically,
her
like
up.
trying to organize and run a wedding that's
Next
not
week.
even for you over a weekend.
For like
We'll
a
be
day.
running one of these at least every other week.
Well,
Toil day, sun rises. Somewhere in the distant lands of Isker, the castle walls are a bit reinforced now. This is the calendar that I have here. It says the stonemasons have done their project. And the Coldbrand, your boy, has put together a pretty good fortification for you. It's a castle you can be proud of now.
Totally help when
Not-
the promise of fire goes and demolishes the entire town in one breath.
No, I mean, but he's not going to demolish the castle in one breath.
It'll take
He
two.
comes from the castle. He demolishes it first.
What are the odds that that's a thing?
It was just a
gonna
vision.
happen?
Those things are always, they
It
never
was
come
just
true.
a
Yeah.
weird vision.
With lore
hallucination
fortune teller over there.
thing
Yeah.
is probably fine. So now, with the weight of a successful gala behind you, that will not stack with the bonus you've been building up in the arena, because those are similar. It's kind of different groups here. You have your +3 for the arena. It's just better than the +1 you have from your contacts for now. This is contacts plus. +2 to whatever downtime activities you choose to do today, whoever you're going to go after. And then tomorrow, if you are going to follow up on this meeting, you have a task to do, perhaps.
Yep.
So, how is our toil day looking, friends? I don't need to ask you.
Fleshy.
Never say that again. Don't you ever say those words to me.
That word.
I'll have the green jewel commissioned to be put into her band because I promised her I would.
Yes,
And-
yeah, you can do that. It's
Yeah,
not gonna take
exactly.
anything.
And then
If you want
Leshy is
to-
a meat leshy.
If you're looking to get proper settings for that at this point,
Technically, everyone's a meat leshy.
Ice Killer has expressed her gratitude to you. She has helped you with the setup for this gala. The commissions are now going to receive in exchange of coin.
I want to give her money, please.
Yeah, and it is jewelry, so it's really jewelry is whatever you want to put into it. You already have the gem that would usually be the bulk of the costs.
Yep.
You can get her a finely wrought headband
Exactly.
for probably just like a couple of gold pieces.
Whatever. Like, whatever it costs is fine.
So whatever it costs, whatever you want to pay for it. It's a jewelry commission. You want to pay 500 platinum, you can absolutely do that.
The point is to make it beautiful, make it fit comfortably.
Like 5 gold.
Exactly.
Again, the gem is the primary attractor here. But then,
And then we're going to go back to the carpenters on the heels of the party, making sure that they had a good time, making sure that they were comfortable.
Rasheen,
We'll just keep my train at
back to the poop store.
Back to the poop store.
Actually, Raz is gonna change things up. He's gonna go help Marshall.
Oh.
Yep.
Marshall seems very interested in this, and Raz wants to know
How
what's he
slowly growing
like what he's
crowd
doing.
of the
So,
new
Raz,
Breach Hill.
I have a task for you, my friend. I promise you won't get hurt, and you just do what you do best. You might want to bring your horn.
I don't want to just make up a story of how she's a coward and spread that through the streets, and she won't accept your fight because she's afraid she'll lose.
That works too. Come on.
So we'll start Rasheen and we'll come back to the team arena team later. Rasheen off back to the Guild of Sweepers and Carters to roll more athletics checks, but now the fancy athletics checks because we had a fancy party.
Yeah.
Pinkies out while we're flexing.
I feel like that's not proper form.
You're not proud for form. Shut up. Rasheen.
It's fancy.
All
Fancy
right.
form.
Here we go.
There we go.
Throw out
Hey,
your
it's
spine.
a 12.
So 14.
So that's going to be a 14, which goes to a 41.
41 will succeed.
Pinkies out.
We're continuing. At this point, you have been here for some days petitioning. You have really come into your own with your calling as a career lobbyist for the poop wagon industry.
Doesn't matter what I say. They're the Poop Wagon Guild now. That's just forever what they'll be.
The Carpenters and Cobbler is the poop wagon in Catapesh.
It's the storm.
There's got to be something going wrong
that's
somewhere.
it. That's it.
Nobody escapes the meme. But you're making you are actually making serious progress here.
Carpenters never escaped.
No,
They're
Carpenters
still
are
going through it.
on a hard time.
All two of them.
It's not even their fault.
It's a completely separate entity of
But
carpenters.
after everything that's happened, after the talk that has come out of this Gala that you've hosted, the air at the Guild of Street Sweepers is a little bit different. They seem to be a little more receptive. They seem to be a little more contemplative of the concept you're pitching. The Catapesh without the Scarlet Triad. You know, it's suddenly starting to seem kind of possible. You're about the point where you can really try and get your sell here. Resume at the Carpenters Guild, having a great time doing carpenter stuff. Make me a crafting check. And there's unfortunately a point here where obviously we are shifting the car into going through downtime days a little bit faster because we have been in Catapesh for quite some time. And if we roleplay every day for 45 minutes, we will be here forever.
Forever. Forever.
There is a line you have
That's
to...
going to be my nat 20 for the day.
There it is. There's the line you got to draw somewhere of what does and does not get roleplayed. And
It's going to be a
50th
50.
visit to the guilds.
2.
50... What is
52.
your crafting? Oh, you have a bunch of item bonuses.
I have a
crafting,
plus
actually.
30 to crafting.
Are your item bonuses things that are up permanently?
Yep. They're
They
just
don't have
things.
a days per use. They don't have
Nope.
a time duration.
They're just sitting there in my jewelry.
Otherwise, I'm pretty sure you need to be using to do something, which you could be doing. Yeah, I mean that's reasonable. 52. If that doesn't critically succeed, maybe just go home. After yesterday's gala, the Carpenters Guild is pretty well willing to listen. Thinking they're kind of smelling the way the wind is blowing and looking to protect their investments and their connections. If you have the weight that it looks like you do, you know what? They're willing to vote with you at the Council of Guilds.
Awesome.
Carpenters Guild is on your side.
Wrap 'em up, sew 'em up.
You idiots. And Raz. What?
You idiots and rats.
Raz is categorically not an idiot.
That's why it's you idiots and Raz. You
I watched that season.
are going to need to do these. At this point, you're going to largely do them individually. Because aiding is a circumstance bonus. and the building the bonus you're building up from riling up the populace and the attendees is also a circumstance bonus.
I'm not with them.
Did you
He's
go?
doing
Oh, you went to
Flesh
Fleshmongers, right?
He's
Okay.
trying to push them
Idiot
over.
and Raz, my mistake.
Still a good sitcom.
So you're gonna need to roll these independently. You can't really effectively
Okay.
aid each other at this point.
That's fine.
But it is 2 shots and calling Sandclaws down.
So
Marshall.
specifically, because I'm still using intimidation, Marshall's gonna go Mega Marshall and hold Raz up, so
Raz is
he
not
can
gonna take
echo
part of
his
that.
voice.
Why don't we just
So-
split up? Cover
Well,
more
I
ground.
mean, you gotta be heard, my friend. So
Okay.
it's better from a height.
It's focusing. You may not have a combat opponent, but you've been doing this for like 4 days, and you're pretty mad now. Raging up at least for a bit during the day to raise.
It only needs to be for
raise Raz
for a minute.
around. Give me your intimidate check, good sir.
I mean, we're still with a +3.
With a +3.
So that's math. Hold on. That's a 40.
40's pretty good. Raz, what are you doing?
Raz is. I just want to keep using performance for everything. Honestly, he's making up He's not making up. He's telling a story of how Sandclaws is a coward and won't come down here and fight. She won't even acknowledge us. She's afraid she'll lose. She thinks if she ignores
The
us,
only reason she won't fight us nobodies who went in there one time is because she feared.
she's afeared. I'm afeared.
Everyone's a little
I
afraid.
mean,
He's
in all
pretty
fairness, you have
scary.
a giant dwarf
He has
slash
been
fire titan
screaming
just sitting
outside
there.
the gladiator arena for like 3 days now. The porters have asked him to leave. The children are too afraid to come trick or treat at the door.
But if she wasn't afraid, she would just fight us and get it over with.
If it was me, I would have thrown him in a maze already.
Make me your performance check, good sir. Roll it in the tray.
Say hello
Yeah.
to my little friend.
It's a
I
9.
have no idea. That's a 6.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Can't tell.
There's a
I
dot.
toot the horn very, very loud.
I can't tell with the dot with the clear die.
Louder.
The clear die is
That's an 11.
Hey.
That's a
better.
40. That's +3
+3.
circumstance, right?
Yes.
Okay, so 43.
That's pretty good.
43.
Almost.
You guys have a +4
Let me-
on your bonus.
All right, Roshin's gonna come with you all next time too. we gotta do this.
I gotta use everybody. In all fairness, I've pretty much used everybody but you two. So
At this point, this is a matter for some notable success, though. After your position outside the arena for these past couple of days, the crowd is riled. The public want to see this fight. It is something that has become the talk of much of the arena of the regulars, both the gladiators and the attendees. And as it is again Toil Day, this is their midweek show that they have bringing in here. On the 1 week anniversary of your victory, they want this. This is as much pressure as the guild and Sandclaws could really possibly be facing from the public to face you. It is now up to you to tip the scales. But we'll not go higher than +4. It's as much as you can get.
I was curious
This is
if
fair.
like your rolls just got one worse every day if the bonus just kept going up.
Stops at 4. You've got the people on your side as much as you can. Now you got to get that closer in there. Hit it out of the park. All right, and off to the Fleshmongers Federation, Trishik. You did not feel your tactics and subterfuge were terribly well received, and it was by and large the bribe last time. And now that they're already kind of willing to listen to you and they've seen your wealth, greasing individual palms isn't going to make a lot of headway with the organization.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
It was diplomacy and what else?
Society.
Probably
We are here to
diplomacy.
do business.
My society's an 18, so I'm only trained and I have no intelligence.
Truer words were never spoken.
It's really just your whole character, honestly. Like, give me your diplomacy.
Life doesn't matter. Who cares?
Make bad decisions into good ones.
Just
Just-
roll 20.
what was that?
Forehead.
Derp? Make bad decisions into good ones?
Yep.
yep.
This is the side
So-
of the
Hey.
table that just rolls 20s. Derp, up high.
You want to use a hero point on that?
No.
Maybe.
What if you rolled a 20 twice? How epic would that be?
Exactly.
Yo, man, if he did it, just dropped it again. I'm like, all right, and you're level 20 now. You won. Game's over.
We're just gonna go
It's
home.
not just a double 20; it's the actual called shot. Like it's
I would
But-
do it if I was going to get some kind of reward for rolling another 20.
now
but
having kind of seen how this operation works, understanding
It's a
what it is they're
44.
interested in, what they're after. Notably, at 44 with a +2, on its own, just exactly critically succeeds.
I'm also only trained
But,
in diplomacy.
That's fair. But you now know exactly what you're trying to do here. You have a game plan. You know who to talk to. You know what lines to drop. You know what bits of information to leak to various parts of this organization to kind of run this up the chain a little faster than it should be. With a critical success, you have largely convinced the majority of the operational staff of the Fleshmongers Federation that perhaps, while they found a lot of success with the Scarlet Triad, it's not terribly long for this world. And if you wish, their leader is open to a meeting.
Like today,
No,
just
like
me? Or?
another
Okay.
down. Like you could say you or a representative you would send in your stead. They are open to discuss this with you.
Fantastic.
Door is open,
I'll
but
send Severin.
Yes. Now we're talking.
And yeah.
Severin is legendary.
you have one less bird.
I could send Severin
And
And
Mataz.
Mataz.
They're familiars.
True
They get
emissaries.
replaced when they get eaten. It's fine.
They just show up again a week later, somehow inexplicably fine.
Yeah.
Slightly different fur color.
Bite marks.
Just
I'll send my
Rasheen replacing
derpy
them.
messenger dog.
They can do, no,
Roshin just finds new birds and like just paints them.
it's
Like, oh look, I found Mataz. You have this rat is like soaked in gray paint. Like his fur is crusty and solid. He can barely move.
it's the kindergarten class pet special.
You're a horrible person.
I mean, we are
Oh
chaotic
look, I
evil.
found him. He got out in the backyard, but he came back.
Why is he orange now?
Look.
Davey, you've gotten some orange.
The sun did it.
No, it's
Please.
That's how sun works.
Remember-
it's wormtail syndrome.
Remember, kids, if you let your pet outside, they turn a different color.
You guys are morons.
Face hurts.
Oh,
Today has really made me feel like we should not even like play a campaign that has a story, and we should just do stupid crap every session.
Oh,
I thought that's every
We don't
session.
need an overarching story or an end goal. We need this crap. This is a
we have to play the adventure of figuring out why pets keep changing colors outside.
Golly gee, Mrs.
Mrs.
Terwilliger, I don't know why.
Raz is down.
Oh, you are very red, my good friend. You can make it.
You killed him.
Oh, jeez, dude.
Oh boy,
Ooh.
this is.
We're gonna be okay.
It'll be the magic school bus, but
Good
worse.
news, the day is over. That is the last thing. And with another successful
Oh
day
my God,
behind
dude.
us, while we have converted the Carpenters Guild to support us, and we are right on the cusp with several others now, including a strong ally of the Scarlet Triad.
I am gonna go get me some strawberry tarts today.
Today, sometime shortly after sunrise, your invitation
Oh yeah.
has come due.
Wasn't that 2 hours before sunrise?
2 hours after sunrise. I said before that was my mistake. I was not
Oh,
inviting
okay.
you to a tavern under cover of darkness.
I thought that's honestly what it
That's
was.
actually what I
That's
thought
what
it
I
was
wrote
too.
down,
I
actually.
mean, I probably said that wrong. 2 hours
Okay.
after
We
sunrise.
were gonna
heard-
show up at like
It
4
was
a.m.
literally supposed to be as like open and public as possible. Like it is the morning clientele. It is going to be busy. There's going to be plenty of people there. It's going to be a place full of witnesses and traffic. And like that was the intention, as Zader pointed out, that it is the safest public neutral ground they could have. Really.
As a show of faith, I will not be hiding the entire time. I
As a show of faith,
As a
I
show
will
of-
be sitting in my chair.
I have to choose to not be hiding.
It's a
It's
show
a
of
conscious
faith. I will
decision
let
have to
them
make.
see me.
Yeah.
They may bask in my radiance.
Oh,
And his
like,
lizard
have you grown?
loveliness.
My scales will
Little
turn
bit.
orange in the sun.
Please now.
I'll go from being a cliff scale to a dune strider lizard.
With a sunny D lizard after a
Oh
moment.
God.
Ew.
So you do your morning preparations as usual. A couple hours after sunrise is, a little later than you'd usually be, starting to make your meetings and organizing with the various porters and servants of the guild. So you have a little bit more time in the morning than usual. To eat well, to clean yourselves up, to put on whatever kind of affront it is you're really wanting to do. Are any of you doing anything special in here?
Simple traveler's clothes. Don't want to stand out.
Not trying to look fancy. We're not going with the great resume dress now.
Nope.
Those of you who travel usually bearing heavy armor, it is not super out of the ordinary. There are plenty who walk through the streets who are usually not strapped in literal full plate, but plenty who wear breastplates and leather armor around to the markets. Are you going like full arms and full armor and everything?
Standard 3-piece suit with magic runes in it, just in case.
I don't really own any other clothing, so
Actually, do you think it would actually be worth me actually going to there? Is there
It
anything I could
is-
possibly? It seems like it's safe enough. I don't think you're going to get into a fight.
It's not about the fight. It's about
All of us showing up.
showing up and being respectful.
Respectful.
They invited
What's
all of
that?
us.
Just wear,
Exactly.
Just wear a cloak. Come along and try not to.
I'll
Just-
toss the unmemorable
I mean-
mantle at you.
I mean, they already know who we are, so
I mean, yeah.
If you want to pretend you're not there, go ahead.
just
It's not
same
my point. I was
standard
wondering if it'd be
outfit.
worthwhile me showing
mean,
up.
yes.
But fair
I
enough. Fair
kind
enough.
of work for
I'm at
them,
ease.
so I have no choice. But
When you're here, I'm at ease.
Yeah.
Well, in that
I'm here
case, Raz, as long as you keep
Exactly.
it comfortable, I'll come along with
I
you.
don't feel comfortable when you're not there either.
Oh, it's just stopped. All right,
What do
there
you
we
do
go.
when I usually leave? Wait for you to get back? Well, it sounds like the squad is all going down to the, the Red Daba, which is very much what you would perhaps expect of a portside tavern. Well, it is not like a wholly exterior building. It is a wooden structure looking not terribly different at first glance from the surrounding warehouses and offices, save for it is a fair bit smaller and has a very prominent, massive carving on the front of it of what looks to be some kind of almost fox-like animal painted in a bright red. The full carving of the thing, probably about 3 feet tall, mounted up on the front of the building above the door, the only real sign available. Much of the seating is outside around the area on a huge covered porch that takes up nearly as much space as the building itself. And inside, huge windows near floor to ceiling, starting only a couple of inches off of the ground, open to, as Zader had put it, the salty breeze blowing through, very much giving you the sounds and smells of the port even deeper inside. Not that the building is really large enough for you to get too far away from any of these external walls here. The bar itself seated as far away as possible on the inside wall that is adjacent to the outer seating, with a walkway going around aside from the front door that leads out to this covered area. It is busy enough in the morning. It is a tavern that is not just here to serve ale and mead, but also to serve breakfast and lunch and all sorts of meals and snacks between to whatever breaks the various dock workers or those on shore leave that have pulled into Catapesh's ports may have. And its morning is quite a decent bustle of coffees and eggs and cut shanks of various meats. Heading inside the building itself, it's not crowded. It's still morning after all, and it's not slam packed wall to wall, but there are few open seats and fewer fully available tables. But sitting somewhere near smack dab the center of this is a very dark-skinned dwarf, wearing a fairly simple blue tunic over plain enough clothes, with his hair done up in more almost dreadlocks than the braids you would have seen down in Kovler, clasped about with simple metal bangles that don't look to be gold or silver, but may very well just be plain thick steel. As he sees the group of you approach, he smiles, raises a hand, and then motions to one of the men behind the bar, making a quick gesture with his hand, with his finger, calling them around. And you see them immediately already start preparing a tray.
Resme will smile and sociably walk over like she's just greeting a friend.
under my breath, as a just in case, I'll say to everyone, try not to drink first.
I'm not going to touch anything here. Are you kidding me? I say in your head.
Do we have the Eye of the Wise back yet?
Yeah.
You would surely have picked it up.
Yeah,
by
we
that
would have
point.
picked
That
it
was
up by now.
Several days later.
Okay. Just making sure.
I mean, I'm sure that you know, it's never mind. It's the poisoners. Yeah.
Well,
it's
what
fine.
are you all doing as you approach this table?
Just walking up.
Yeah, just looking really sociable.
Roshin's gonna approach also, but just scan the area and just look around, keep an eye out.
What was I seeking hypothetically?
Sure.
Taking exploration actions would be obvious because you are devoting a decent amount of effort to it. So if you want to be mechanically seeking, you are very clearly like
I am very obviously
watching
not,
your environs.
not dressed for a casual social occasion.
You are in your battle plate.
I mean, I'm wearing war gear, so it's like I'm here
As
I'm
my
not gonna
bodyguard.
I'm here as a bodyguard,
That's fair.
basically.
So you're gonna seek. You two are gonna. You're not taking any exploration actions.
Nope.
You are going to engage here. What about you, Marshal Rez?
Going to engage. I'm
Okay.
just following suit with Trishik. This is Trishik's wheelhouse. He's intimidating everything.
Looking scary.
Okay, so you are just being large.
Yep.
Really, but also not. You're leaving Roshin to scan the area in case anything should hypothetically go wrong.
I mean, I can't really do much other than just.
I mean, you
be
can
there.
scout if
mean,
you
I-
want to.
oh, if I can scout,
Yeah,
then
I mean,
yes.
you could. It's exploration activities. You can do anything. You can,
Okay.
you can scout. You could also be pretty alert. You could clearly be kind of on edge and ready.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's kind of my job. So yeah,
That's
I'll
fair.
scout.
So the group you sit at the table as the dwarf kind of smiles and looks over towards the bar. The bar, they're preparing this tray here. Give me just a moment here. Don't worry. I'll provide the drinks this morning. And quick, just general flavor question. You guys have been adventuring through various bars and taverns and cities. You've experienced a whole lot of assorted cultures for resume anyway, the depths of the Mwangi expanse to all the heights of Kintargo and the fancy cocktails. Do you surely have preferred drinks at this point? Marshall obviously is whatever gets him drunk, but the rest of you almost certainly have preferred drinks you've come across.
I mean, in all fairness, I don't think Marshall's ever been actually drunk.
That's fair. He just likes to taste the ale.
Shackles spiced rum.
Fancy.
It depends on the time of day. Tea in the morning, sherry, or jeet. It depends on where she is and what she thinks she can get that's good.
high my pinky is today.
If she doesn't think it's going to be good, she'll order mead because they can't screw it up that bad.
How about you two? It doesn't need to be anything specific. Just like surely you have.
So Roshin has actually developed a taste for things that are strong but portable. So like something that a soldier on the march can
The-
go and carry.
The vodka hip flask.
Vodka hit flask, but
whatever's in Marshall's horn.
judging from her background, where she comes from, it's actually been more of like a whiskey type of thing.
Okay, fair
Rubbing
enough.
alcohol, perhaps.
I mean, if
Paint
soldiers have to
thinner.
make it themselves,
Look, the type of wine they gave us that cost 200 gold that we still have hanging around, that's my drink.
called
Raz,
slumber wine, and
Raz doesn't drink a lot of alcohol. When he does, it's usually something very sweet and fruity.
Fair enough.
Otherwise, he just goes for if they have fruit juice somewhere.
Mimosas.
Apple juice for Raz.
Yeah, apple juice. Pretty much.
In a sippy cup because we don't trust him with an open
There'll be
glass.
6 of you around this table here. But the tray would be coming out with what appears to be 9 various beverages upon it. That would be quite an interesting array. There would be a few of your traditional mugs you would be expecting, smaller ceramic cups, and shot glasses alongside a full bottle as well. As he brings the tray down to the table, he sets what seems set in a square glass with a salted rim, what seems to be almost a simple martini, very early in front of the dwarf here before handing out a few simpler things to the rest of you. Trishik, this is a fairly well-stocked bar. It's not a small establishment. They would actually already have prepared this exact spiced rum for you. You would be receiving on its own plate with 2 small cubes of sugar to the side and a stirring spoon. A nice or early morning chamomile,
Oh,
all heated
very
and ready
nice.
for you. You would have a small bottle of a quite fine whiskey as well, the shot glass, and you would get, I guess, apple juice.
Sippy cup.
The other 4 mugs of ale would all be placed in a row in front of Marshall.
I guess it's a start. I'll usually take a keg, but this is a start.
And the dwarf Nods his head
about to have
and
an
waves
alcohol
waves off
shortage.
the bartender. Thank you. He'll be handling us for now.
Your hospitality is impeccable.
Taz out, put him on the counter, pull out his little cup, and scoop out some apple juice for him. Set it down.
So, first of all, I hope these drinks I can serve before you are fine enough. Thanks for simply arriving to hear out a plain offer. A plain offer given in good faith to the group of you.
The tea is lovely, and the other drinks are perfectly suited to our palates.
I've
Searched.
my sources, aye. But, they tell me a fair bit of interesting things passing through the streets. Like that there's a group of interested individuals looking for guild support to appeal to the pact masters, to rescind their support to the Scarlet Triad here in Catapesh.
We certainly haven't been shy about it.
No, it's been quite obvious. Well, the way you're going about it, you're doing it all wrong, you see. You're trying to corral a bunch of cats to march the same direction these various guilds, chasing naught else but that which will bring them just the brightest glimmer of gold pieces come into their pocket, aye? Why beg for the Packmaster's mercy through these middlemen? You could force their hand.
We did not know that was an option.
Well, I represent a consortium of esteemed operatives that has more pull with the guilds than your bogeyman here, the Triad. Well, that's all the help you need, isn't it? My boss is willing to negotiate details, as if you're interested.
Sounds attractive, doesn't it?
It depends
does.
on the price that would need to be paid.
But we are certainly willing to pay it.
That's not my place to say, to be sure. I'm just a messenger, here to make contact and, gauge interested parties, potential investments. Now, make no mistake, we're not looking for us to be paid fortunes or anything like that. Truth be told, it'd be strange and out of the ordinary if it was coin. That area we weren't even interested in. No, we deal in information. We deal in favors. We deal in political influence, which it seems a group of you have got a fair bit of in these last couple weeks, aye?
We're very good at it.
We've persuaded several of the guilds to our way of thinking.
I've heard an impressive amount. And should you refuse our offer here, I certainly hope that it'll be enough. Come the guild's meeting here, what is it? Just very more than a week now, ain't it?
More than enough time.
We're not ones to cut off our nose to spite our faces either. If you have influence to spare and your offer is good, we're not going to turn it down out of spite.
Well, you've attracted my boss's interest, if anything. Our particular organization sees potential in you, but my boss don't just meet with anybody. So, we're going to make you an offer, perhaps, to prove yourselves.
Oh, God.
Prove that your allegiances are true and that, there's value to be had in making acquaintances with a lot of you.
Do we have to go out into the desert and kill something else that's scary?
Goodness,
no.
we're quite good at it at this point.
The business is quite simple, I assure you. We have an agreement, a simple trade deal going with a merchant deep in the southern markets that goes by the seer. We delivered him a fair price, and he is sourcing for us a few gemstones. If you could simply stop by, meet with the seer, receive our 3 gemstones, and deliver the package to the Marble Sphinx. We got eyes. We'll receive it from there.
You need us to deliver a package for you.
Aye, simple enough task, ain't it?
No,
Let
it's
me
not
guess.
going to be simple.
He did not want to pay up his part of the deal.
His part of the deal is the sourcing of the gemstones. He's receiving them. We've already paid him the fair and agreed upon price for the things.
What kind
You're
of
simply collecting a delivery on our behalf.
what kind of gemstones?
I can collect this delivery.
They're a trio of sapphires, finely crafted but sourced from out of town.
Okay.
Well, we wouldn't be expecting it to be completely on the up and up, would we?
Oh, none of it is.
Of course, of
That
course.
is the appeal.
I mean, what are we going to do? We're going to find out that there's some nefarious thing. Of course there's a nefarious thing going on here.
Oh, no, I very much assure you. Again, this is a deal that's all been signed and written. The seer's already been paid. You're simply collecting the goods and delivering them to the marble
Oh,
sphinx.
don't be silly. You don't send a band of heroes like ourselves to go trampsing about on a simple errand boy.
The
It's not.
Sphinx.
It's not worth asking questions.
What's the Sphinx?
It is the location we will be dropping
Surely
off the
you've seen the
package.
Sphinx. It's in the same court of the city that I believe the group of you have been staying in.
To be perfectly honest, Catapesh is very garish. No matter what, I could look at the same block of buildings 3 times over and notice different things every single
Well,
time.
the marble sphinx itself is one of the city's oldest landmarks, save perhaps for the red pyramid that your triad's been rested inside. If you travel in just on the far side of the wall, and he gestures out to the west, southwest from where you are, the far side of that wall, out of the port district, east of the Golden Oasis near where you're staying, it's plain as day. It takes up the size of several city blocks, and it's a clear enough. If you're familiar with sphinxes, they're kind of massive cat-like beasts. It's a huge marble sculpture, impossible to miss.
Oh, okay.
Simply leave the delivery somewhere where, alongside, there's a long storied traditions of leaving small gifts, arrangements of flowers as penance to the Osirian pantheon. You'll just simply leave the delivery amongst them. We'll have it collected.
Trishik, seems like you could go ahead and handle that in about, 5 minutes?
Yes, it won't be a problem. We'll take care of it.
Very good. And if we receive this package here within the next, say, 24 hours or so, I'm sure our boss will be more than happy to meet with you.
That was actually going to be my next question. A time frame.
I'll get it within a day or so. If we have it by the next more, we'll continue the price paid. And we'll go ahead to organize in a meeting. The boss will be in contact with you shortly. Now, this seer, again, we have a business relationship with the man here. He sourced a good many things for us. I'm not asking you to sneak in and simply steal and make enemies of the man. He'll know what's come for him. They're good and paid for. Shouldn't need nary more than asking, eh?
Exactly.
Good.
No harm will come to this man.
I'll go with you, just to get to the star.
He picks up his drink for the first time and just takes a good sip of it. Oh, it's a good bite to get me going in the morning. But I have other things to attend to. Enjoy your drinks, and have a fine breakfast, I imagine, if you ask the good hostess there. I wish you the best of luck in your travels.
Thank you.
No, if you'll excuse me. And the dwarf stands and
Gonna mark him for death.
smile and a bow, leaving his drink largely untouched on the table. Excuses himself from the tavern and heads back out into the street.
Art-
He's so shady. Oh, it just gives me chills.
Marshall kind of looks at his remaining drink and just. Oh.
So I'm gonna make. Would it be society or perception to decipher what exactly he was trying to say? Because this is not a deal, obviously on the up and up.
You can maybe society check. Lore Underworld, Beatrice.
Oh boy.
You have that.
This is True Sheik's
You
wheelhouse.
rogue, you.
That was a 2. You know what that 2 would have been? That would have been a 20 total.
Oi.
Turned up 2 into a 20.
Much better.
There you go.
19. So 37.
Well, the 37, it's, plain as day to everyone here, even Rashid, that there's obviously more to this.
Yeah.
Nothing that he said immediately struck you as untrue. You don't, strictly untrue. And that's not terribly
He was
uncommon in
double
dealings
speaking.
like this. Yeah, they work around a framework of information. They're not looking to outright lie to you. Lies can be disproven. They're only giving you the bits of the truth that are relevant. And the clearly missing part here is why they need the 5 of you to go retrieve a couple of gemstones from a merchant that are already paid for. You get the sense that, again, you have no reason to doubt the direct truth of anything he said. You think the circumstances he's given you seem to be true enough. These gemstones were delivered to this seer, and they were paid for already by his organization. And he doesn't want you to
Hurt him.
steal them. He doesn't. What he told you not to do is simply disappear the gemstones. As a matter of fact, you get the impression that the show of force
He wants it known.
is half of the point. He does not want these to simply disappear from the seer's goods.
He wants somebody.
He wants it to be very clear that they have been reclaimed.
Okay.
Okay. So, roughly, what we'll be doing is exactly what he said.
As he's walking out the door, do I think casting something would draw a ton of attention?
I mean, absolutely. In the middle of a
Oh, yeah.
breakfast tavern, 100% yes. On the port, yeah.
Even if I'm just kind of glowing and not really making a huge deal out
Yeah,
of it.
yeah, you're like gathering
Yeah.
in all of this energy in the middle of the tavern and emanating. So you're clearly casting a spell of some kind for the 57th time.
No, I know that. I'm asking what kind of attention. I don't know how common magic is in this place.
It's
That's what I'm
definitely,
asking.
Like, we're in Galarian. Magic's not unheard of, but ironically, it's more acceptable almost the higher tier of a place that you are. Because it's very common for retainers of well-off noble folk, or even the noblemen themselves who've taken to dabbling in some simple magic, to prestidigitate themselves or things, especially common one, or to cast simple spells to ensure privacy, or... But in like the port taverns, people are usually casting a spell because they're getting ready to shank somebody. So it's
Fair enough.
like,
That's
the
more what
lower
I
end
was.
ones, it's-
That I wasn't getting at whether or not it would be noticed. Clearly, it would be noticed. What I was getting at was the
it would-
type
it would
of
be noticed
attention
as,
it would
like,
bring.
Oh boy, this is about to start as a fight
Okay,
about to
then
break
no.
out. Like it's kind of the equivalent of like smashing your mug on the table, so you got a pointy thing to fight with. Is sort of what it's usually used for.
That was what I was wondering.
See, the funny thing would be someone like goes to start casting a spell, everyone freaks out, and then it's just light. It's like, oh, it's a little dark. I'm trying to read. Sorry.
Probably get asked to leave.
Yeah,
like in a port
if
tavern.
unless like we get someone else goes and like shoots us with a crossbow or something. It's like waving a toy gun around and being like,
No,
oh,
it's just
I
a
got-
Nerf gun.
Again,
they'll,
It's just a Nerf
Like-
gun, guys. I painted it black, but it's just a Nerf gun. Oh,
Resume
God,
has
God.
never been here before, so
Right.
she does not
This
know
is
what
not
kind.
the kind of place you would frequent, really.
That exactly. That's what I was more getting at.
No shoes, no service, no spells, no service.
Got it. That's all I wanted.
Draw your weapons, no service.
I'd really like to follow him.
It is not a good idea.
Don't pry into their business.
I will know if we see him again.
Oh,
For now, Marshall is actually the best suited for this.
You two go ahead.
All of us will be needing to go.
All of us. Are you certain? Marshall can go and bully one merchant, I'm sure.
That is exactly the point of 5 people being hired.
oh, they're trying to
is
make a point.
To convey a message.
Roisin, you're very good at conveying messages.
It's okay, Mr. Sheen. After this, I'll take you to a nice bakery. I found one.
They have loaves this big.
Yes, I know you. You bring one home every afternoon.
No. This is one I haven't brought anything home from. They have the most delectable pies.
Pie.
All right, I guess let's go shopping.
Let's just think. Anyway, let's head on down.
So the group of you heading out to the south end of town in pursuit of the seer. You may, in all of your investigations, so not really have been to the southern end of Catapesh. None of the guild halls are down here because the south end
We
of
went through the
Catapesh.
south end to go help the Farmers Guild.
Yeah, I was about to say, didn't we?
It wasn't for terribly
We've been here
long, but we
once.
We
had
went
to-
kind of like through it in passing, I guess,
okay.
but like on the main roads, not into like the districts
Yeah, we
around.
literally went
The
through.
southwestern section of Catapesh, furthest in the ports, furthest in the main gates, is an area known in the town as the Night Stalls. It is not a fantastically great place to go, but the amount of money that it generates kind of justifies its existence. It's Catapesh. You can do whatever you want if you have enough money. They're not doing anything overtly illegal, but if you wanted to buy
Did you just say overtly legal?
illegal.
Okay.
He
'cause
did say illegal.
If you
Okay.
wanted to buy less common alchemical reagents, if you wanted to buy some more discerning scrolls of enchantment or necromancy or staves of the like, if you wanted to buy some of the more perhaps frowned upon weapon and armor talismans, the Night Stalls is where you would find yourself. None of this stuff is illegal, but it's not kind of the things that you want out in proud display in your upstanding storefront that's trying to attract traveling merchants.
I have a
Perhaps
shrunken
room.
head on a chain.
Several, probably.
Yeah.
The more esoteric, the more occult, the stranger, and the less socially acceptable things are collected here.
Like my chaotic room.
Like an anarchic room, maybe, perhaps would be probably the area you'd find it as the night stalls. But that does not mean that it is any less wealthy than many of the other areas throughout Catapesh and many of its other markets. There's a lot of gold here. There are a lot of very expensive things. There's a lot of very expensive security
A lot of
in the
free
area.
sapphires.
Not a ton of Zephyr Guard, but they do still patrol the area. They still bring their constructs along with them, but they are more just, again, to be a presence and less to be involved. As a matter of fact, there would be dramatically less of the Zephyr Guard's arrests and their paperwork that would be done for the Night Stalls because the Night Stalls tends to resolve its own problems a lot more regularly than the more mainstream markets.
Everyone out there shouts, cards, cards. Everyone over here just pulls out a dagger.
Stop. So, it seems like the first goal here is going to be to find this seer, which, surprisingly, is not terribly difficult. Again, he is a merchant. He runs a store. Being found is a large part of his business. And from what you hear, just asking simple directions from either passersby or even some of the guards, he is one of the highest tenured vendors here in the Night Stalls. He runs a simple shop of modest size, but dabbles in more esoteric, more difficult to locate magical components and reagents. He runs the shop alone, and it is a building that is... This whole district is a little off of the main road, but more centralized than you would perhaps expect, as his long time here in the stalls has got him some amount of pull. And as you walk inside, you would not be the only customers within the building, most of which is set around on the shelves set into the walls of the building itself, which seems almost more like a medium-sized home than a traditional storefront, are things that would be unrecognizable. You would have literal shrunken heads, strange jagged claws, saw-like teeth, or weird appendages from creatures that you don't even want to imagine what it is that they came from. A whole lot of odd bits of strangely colored things floating in dull jars.
Guys,
Occultist dream.
is it
Just
just
the
me,
occultist dream.
or
I'm
does
legendary and occultist.
or does this look like the inside of like Raz's bag of holding and Marshall's bag of holding combined? If like you dumped them all together.
There's books in my bag of holding.
I've never been in either of their bags of holding, actually. It's not air in there. It's not a good idea.
I mean, I don't see a whole lot of taters, so I...
Oh, there's also that. Nowhere near enough.
There's not a lot of books either.
There are
I'm going to get back to hiding.
There are a couple of stewards and porters that are around organizing displays, stocking things, helping some of the other customers in here. But up at the front, a pair of folk would be speaking with a man that stands out very prominently, wearing a thick, heavy, almost crimson robe that weighs and rolls around his shoulders, making his figure appear much larger than it really is, and making his head poking out from it appear almost a little comically small. He's a wizened old man that's, even under this robe, clearly hunched over a bit towards the counter, with stark, straight white hair that flows down past his shoulders, back behind him, and very sharp features, a prominent, almost beak-like nose pointing here straight out, not hooked in any way, not like looking at a witch hair. And the subtly pointed ears of not a whole-blooded elf, but somewhere with a little bit of elf up in the line somewhere. And he looks as you come to the door and just nods briefly before he continues his conversation with the two customers he has at the counter.
Casually look around the store, wait politely.
Roshin is just gonna stand in the middle of the store and just lock eyes on him. And just stare right at him.
Stare at this man.
Not like death stare or anything, but like,
just
I'm
get
here
death
to
him.
talk to you.
I'm just going to go behind the counter.
You're just kind of behind him,
Yep.
looking
Like
through
Mr.
things.
Clean.
Just looking around, trying to see if I can just find the sapphire so I can tell them.
Hands ready.
You see behind the table, much of it is small, paper-wrapped reagents or implements and very small vials of different powders and liquids.
I am not touching anything.
But
I'm just looking.
Right, but you don't see anything, any gemstones or anything clearly
Is there
immediately.
a back room?
I mean, there are several rooms. The storefront just seems to be about a third of this building. There's plenty more, but I mean,
Okay.
your ability to sneak does not mean the door's ability to sneak. By
No, I'm just
extension.
asking if
there
there is
would be certainly doors that lead deeper in the building as well. After a couple of minutes, the customers finish their transaction here, and the man straightens up a little bit before turning towards Roshin directly, kind of a raised eyebrow, and shuffling out rather slowly from behind the counter out towards the group of you. If I can assume anything from the whole your gaze is boring in the top of my head, you have business with me personally.
It's direct and shouldn't take a time. We're here to pick up an order.
I'm afraid I don't have the pleasure. You're clearly acquainted with me, but
I'm not at all acquainted whatsoever. I simply know your name. But we're here to pick up the 3 stones from the Black Hands. They ordered it.
I see. I'm afraid that as I informed Mr. Starshield and his previous cronies that I have decided to cancel the rather generous order. I'm not looking to involve myself in Packmaster business.
I see. We don't have the time for this.
Marshall kind of bows up from behind Roshin. I don't think she was asking politely.
I think I am simply stating a fact. You want to roll intimidate, either or both of you?
I'm going to roll perception because I assume he's lying.
I rolled a nat 20.
And Roshin's coercing.
Okay.
I got
So
a
Marshall
30
just kind of... Sorry, go ahead.
I got a 37 to see if he's lying.
He does not appear to be. He's almost dismissive at this point.
40 on an intimidate.
40
To
and a
coerce.
natural 20.
Marshall just picks them up. I
You-
say it again.
okay.
Oh, now,
you
Marshall.
as you go to grab him, he puts a hand on you, make a fortitude save.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a horrible idea.
42.
The
Greater
42,
Juggernaut.
you are paralyzed. That's going to fail. You grab him, he lays a hand on you, and you see Marshall freeze and lock up entirely.
Even with Juggernaut?
You have to succeed to get Juggernaut. Doesn't make a failure a success.
No, he's got the...
I got Juggernaut and Greater Juggernaut.
I think Greater
That makes a
Juggernaut's
critical failure,
goes
a
to
failure,
a failure.
and a success goes to a great... you take half
critical
damage
fail
from
goes
things
up,
on a
a
failure, but
failure
there's no
is a-
damage. It's just paralyzed.
Yeah,
Oh.
you still take the effect. You take half damage as if you rolled a success.
Okay,
So
I misunderstood it then.
You
my
lock
bad.
up as you grab him, and he just kind of removes your hand from him.
Oh, you're talented, aren't you?
It is not so much a talent as perhaps a curse not worth current conversation. After a few seconds, you unfreeze with your hand just kind of gripping nothing there.
Oh, that's horrible. It must be very inconvenient in the bedroom.
Look, these gemstones, their purpose is clear beyond reason. I have enjoyed my time running this business here at not crossing the city of Catapesh or exceptionally the Pact Masters. I have no business or desire to make enemies of them now.
I don't understand, and perhaps we've just stumbled directly into this as we seem to have.
Then
What are these
perhaps-
gemstones?
You have found yourselves beholden to a situation that the unseen hand looks to take advantage of your ignorance. But
Perhaps you'd like to
Believe me.
cure it.
there is no need to. The business is all well cancelled. These gems will be sold simply as they are for their materials value.
That
And
is all I needed to know. The gems are here. I'm going into the back room.
Well, the door
I don't care if he knows I'm going into the back room.
opens. He kind of turns.
I really am
Gems are for
curious.
sale. How much are they up for?
To you, more than you have, I'm certain.
Ah, fair enough then.
Look, these gems, their business is already near concluded. I, again, will not be looking to offend the Pact Masters or have the Zephyr Guard fall upon my store. And what they are involved in and what the hand intends for you to involve yourselves in is something that is, I am afraid, quite simply beyond your understanding.
But it could be within our understanding if you were to tell us what the gems do in the hands of somebody who knows how to use them.
I've worked this business for the better part of my life, and I have learned to separate the wheat from the chaff. An explanation would be a waste of all of our time.
I really don't think it would be.
I'm trying to think. I want to attempt to convince him to tell us, using my knowledge, that I know just stuff, just offhand, random amounts of
Okay.
stuff.
Make me an occultism check.
Occultism?
These are bone hurty gems.
No, they make your bones bleed.
The ding's a good sign.
No, it's not.
So much.
I
You
wanna-
got 2 more dice left. You want to try?
I want to roll it where it doesn't.
That's a
One more
19.
die left. You want to try?
That was a 19.
You got it.
Hey, it's a 2.
Yeah. A
You wanna-
31. I'm legendary in occultism.
That's 31 out of 2 is pretty ridiculous, actually. But as you explain, as you try to tell him some
I'm
things,
very obviously flustered.
perhaps I may have been some mistaken. You are not wholly ignorant of all things magical and esoteric, but again, you're clearly not from here. The implications of the magic that they have attempted to foist upon me would be lost on the group of you. I am sure.
So
Catapesh.
let's
I am
think
from
about
here.
what they could be for a minute. There's only a
Oh, you
couple
know.
of things that could
Oh.
really upset the Zephyr guards. One of them, I guess, would be those crystals that they use to control their robots, which presumably work off of some sort of. She'll just kind of go into like
Make me
a.
a society check.
She's rambling.
God hates us.
It has not been my luck, my month to roll dice at all.
Your month?
My
You guys
month.
dropped like 11 20s last
No,
week.
no. I have other games.
Oh, that's good.
That's a 9.
That's 9. I'll take it. It's gonna be a 35.
35 to discuss. Perhaps mistaken still. Fine. It is not worth the effort to extricate from myself from this business, but if I'm to have any further dealings with the unseen hand, it will be on my terms rather than theirs. I seek to make enemies of no one, and if the Pact Masters descend for this, well, and he kind of reaches into his robe. Oh, and you can tell your friend to return. And
I would just be looking around, not touching anything.
just
Still.
kind
You
of
can
poke
come
him
back.
You have like a storage area in the back of the book. Just it looks like more stock. You obviously wouldn't have found them by now, but
Resme will say in her head, "You can come back now." I think he's got the point.
So I'll just walk back
he
out.
pulls out a small, it's kind of battered, thick wooden box. Not much different in size to Kados here. Affixed with an iron padlock hung on the front, nearly the size of the thing itself. And then reaches back in and pulls out a key, maybe the size of a thumb, and shuffles back towards the counter. He puts the thing down, unlocks the padlock, and opens it to display 3 those pyramid-shaped, like triangular, like D8s, I suppose, or more like an octahedron, suppose, than a pyramid. Pyramid on both sides was the thought that I had. Simple, plain sapphires. They're not flawless. They're not immaculately carved, but they do look identical to the gems in the heads of the Onks that the Zephyr Guard carried to control their machines.
Who knew? Called it.
Ah, you did.
These are, if you have the understanding that you front to me, as I'm sure you will discover, not controlled stones. They have clearly been created to look a reasonable facsimile. What the Unseen's hand purposes them is, I no longer care. Fine. Consider our transaction done. He takes the lock off and slides the box to you. You take this and I'll have no more of it. What comes of it will fall on their and perhaps your heads. Now take that and leave my store.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Marshall, just out of like
looks.
spite, just knocks over something randomly as he's leaving the door. That's what you get for making me frozen, jerk.
You did that to.
I'm sorry. I actually take some just 20 gold pieces and throw it back in the store to pay for whatever it was he broke.
A banana costs $5.
One banana! What could it possibly cost?
But she actually comes back and goes, "Sorry."
As you make your way out, you You have his things.
The only good character.
You have you have this delivery.
Oh, they're gonna cause such mischief with this.
Well, thankfully, we'll be around to watch it.
If it comes to that.
So all that's left then, if you were following through with me, the unseen hand here, is simply to deliver them to the Marble Sphinx. Which certainly is something that you would have seen as you walk throughout Catapesh. It is like...
Do we really want to give them to them, or do we want to like pretend to give it to them and then not give it to them?
Why would we go through all this? No, just finish the delivery, get them to help us out. It'd be that simple.
Ask me, I really kind of don't want to give it to them.
Initiated
Yeah,
a deal.
I'm kind of with Raz
Well,
on this.
My family lives around here, and if Catapesh goes into chaos, it could adversely affect, the whole warren of people I'd rather not have affected by anything that happens in Catapesh.
Are you telling me that the Pack Masters are wise and benevolent rulers that are making Catapesh a good place to live?
Well, what happens if you tear down the rulers of a place that are supposedly keeping it in balance? There's chaos sure to follow, right?
Of course.
Lawlessness in the street, people getting hurt.
Oh, do you honestly expect the entirety of Catapesh to be thrown into revolution with these 3 rocks?
I mean, you never know.
It takes a single drop.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It takes a lot of hard work. Let me just tell you, if the Pact Masters are going to have this be the tipping point, then they've already messed up far too much.
And how much work has the Black Hand already done?
As much as they possibly can, and as little as the Pact Masters will let them get away from.
I
Believe
mean-
me, it's not my first revolution.
I mean, in all fairness,
I love you so much.
Glad I'm from Galt. I've done this a few times before.
we did accept the job, and I feel like we should see it through
Oh,
regardless.
see, Marsh is very honorable. You should put up with him.
I mean,
If we
it's
do
in the
not,
contract.
if we do not deliver them, we're going to have a new enemy. We
What's
have,
another one to the list?
But we have the stones. Why not just get rid of them and get rid of the problem and get some help? By the time it will affect you, you could easily have all of your family through the portal and away.
What's the old saying? The enemy of my enemy is my friend?
It is a portal, Bryce. It will take your entire family, no matter how big.
They like it here. That's the issue.
They could like it plenty of places. They haven't been there.
Moreover, Raz, this isn't going to topple all of Catapesh, just these 4 little stones. 3 little stones. 2 little stones?
Can you
Trishik,
count?
where's the other one?
Under his tongue.
No, I never got them. They were handed to someone else because I was behind the counter.
Means absolutely nothing, and you know it.
I mean, she's got a point.
Regardless, Raz. It'll cause trouble, of course it'll. It might even cause a great deal of trouble. But it's not going to be the end of the world. Don't you worry about it. If Catapesh is going to fall from this, it means the clans have already done quite a great deal of work, and it's only a matter of time. If the Pack Masters have really made such a mess of it, it's come this far, then I'm afraid you're
Pack Masters don't do anything.
Not that you know about.
Like, it's all the guilds that do everything.
You say that, and yet the Zephyr Guard all seem to answer to the Pact Masters and do nothing for the guilds, except leave them alone.
That's a lot of something, actually.
Right. And so, you're saying the people who control the army aren't actually
No, it's not the
doing
army,
anything.
it's the guard.
It is basically an army.
It is an army.
Just points to the silhouette of the robot.
Walking by, 2 giant automatons just stomping down the street.
Well, what I could do is I could set it up so that when they tried to put one of them in an Ankh of a Zephyr Guard, the stone would just fall to pieces.
Why are you trying to cause all this trouble? Look, if it means
They wouldn't
so
know
much,
it was us.
If it means so
Well,
much,
they would know it
yes,
was
they
us.
would.
They would
know it
most
was us.
certainly know it was us.
Why?
If it means so much to you, they don't need to get to convict us in a court of law. Look, let me see them. And Roshin's going to very deliberately examine every one of them, and maybe a slight flash of yellow will kind of flash out of her eye, and she'll put it back. I can find him again whenever you need them to.
Oh, thanks, Roshin.
If it truly means so much
She'll
to you.
give you a hug. That actually is really helpful.
Would you like me to make the delivery?
Please
Yes, thanks.
How far away is it?
The Marble Sphinx is pretty close to the center, like geographical center of Catapesh, actually, just inside the port wall. It is, again, a large landmark and one that is a great tourist attraction, really.
So it's
that they
within a
have here.
mile of me.
Definitely, yes.
Thank you.
Problem solved.
Teleport there.
I love
You
it.
handed me the thing is gone.
Gossip by. And he capes away.
Yep.
A flourish and a puff of smoke. Trishik appears at the marble sphinx.
Not directly at it because I don't want to see someone.
Generally kind of nearby the
Yeah,
marble
I don't want to
sphinx,
appear
so then-
directly in the middle of. Hey guys, poof of smoke. Just gonna put this right here.
And just put the wooden package down.
But I'll
Foot of
appear
the-
nearby, walk over, place it down, assume they have eyes, and we're good to go.
And with that, the transaction is complete, my friends. You have done what they asked of you. The question now is what to do with the better part of the day. Well, there's plenty of time left in the day, and you have a lot of course, the energy behind you from the various guilds. You would still be able to do a downtime activity today, I think, if you so pleased. So we're going to go scream at the arena.
Is the meeting with the fleshies still?
It's whatever you
call
want.
them
You
the
can make
fleshies
it-
But is
ever
it one
again. I'm just
person
gonna
or, like-
It's
vomit
whatever you
on
want.
you.
It's
Okay.
you or any number of representatives.
Ew,
How many people want to go talk to Knowles?
Well, me and Roisin have some business.
not me.
We've got to go call out a coward who's hiding up in the Colosseum.
Do you want me
Oh,
to go
here.
with you?
Arms going around Raz. Well, buddy.
Hand Roisin a card of talking points to call people out as cowards.
Oh, I have something so much better. You have no idea. You're not a woman, dear. You don't know.
You're both gonna walk up to it. You're like, oh, I've got this fantastic idea.
On the count of
All
three,
right.
we both like
So the
just
two
roar.
of you are going to the arena. Trishik.
Yep.
I'm stealing Raz to go talk to Knowles.
He just steals Raz.
And then Resme, I suppose.
picks Raz up.
I'm
with him
gonna go
by
get me a
horn.
strawberry tart at the baker's.
Fair enough.
But
Try and
cares?
close that deal. So we have a lot of things we are attempting to close here. All three of these we're trying to see. This is the shot. Shoot your shot. Try and swing them to your support. Marshall and Roisin, you've been working on the arena
Plus
for the
4,
better
baby.
part of a week. You have a +4 circumstance bonus
Let's be
because
spooky.
the
Well, so Roisin is going to be spooky intimidate, but it's not like violence intimidate. It's going to basically be. So the reason why she won't fight us is because she's gotten weak and fat up in that bar, up on that balcony, eating grapes and tarts while watching people fight. She hasn't had a good fight in forever. In fact, I've heard she has actually gotten so fat and lazy that she can't even do her flips anymore.
Whoa!
We're going that way.
No,
Whoa.
Roshin's playing dirty. This
Your
is
mama's
like,
so fat.
Yo, mama!
It's
not even your
So-
mama, it's you.
So
yeah, exactly.
So scary dwarf, sassy lady.
Yo,
got
guild
it.
mama.
Have you heard she won't even fit in her prom dress anymore?
Dude, she has
That's
gotten
Small town.
Who wants to go first?
she's gotten so fat that her
Marshall
belt size
seems quite
is a
excited.
equator.
Go ahead, go for it. Go
Go,
for it.
my screaming dwarf.
We finally did it.
Okay, so plus
Nice.
4. That is going to be.
48.
I can math. Hold on.
No, you can't.
46.
46.
53.
Yeah.
Yo!
19.
I mean, I rolled
That's
13,
some small
so.
town USA stuff right
18.
there.
18. Oh yeah, no, it's total high school girl stuff.
Like,
but sometimes the old ways.
The old ways. Teach me your
The
secret.
old
About-
ways.
Late in the afternoon, as you're out there, spreading your insidious high school rumors, trying to get Santa Claus kicked off the cheerleading squad.
Our magical girl stays.
You are approached by one of the porters of the Gladiators Guild. It comes up to the group of you at a,
Guys, please stop.
safe, safe distance.
Santa Claus is broken every vase she can get her hand.
And she just kind of bows, folds her hand in front of her and just sort of bows. If the pair of you would, the guildmaster would like to meet with you.
I put my arm around Roisin. I could kiss you. Just so you know.
And I do apologize, these are her words. But as you've clearly got nothing better to do, if you could follow me immediately, please.
Oh, this is perfect. Let's go.
We just we like skip to her office because we're so excited.
She leads the two of you into the offices of the Gladiators Guild, not into like the back into any closed office. but into a waiting area at the front where a secretary meets with merchants and sponsors and those coming through trying to establish deals or to introduce renowned fighters or anything. The symbol of the Gladiators Guild, a massive, almost perfectly round hoplon with a gladius across the front of it, straight, vertical, carved into the floor. Actually into it like a central gap in the carpets where the stone of the floor is shown through and gilded into the carving itself, making it gleam with the Catapesh level of gaudiness that it's owed. But standing in the center of this, with her arms crossed, is
Puffy
Sand.
eyes. Puffy eyed. She's been crying all day.
Looks like she's been bawling her eyes out. No, she's standing there. She doesn't have her helmet on, but she has her normal cuirass. And just kind of closes her eyes and shakes her head. You two have been clearly hard at work, I see.
Oh, you have no idea.
It
I
wouldn't
do,
have been.
believe it or not. I actually very much well do. So, congratulations are in order, I suppose. You've managed to convince the common rabble that this is a fight worth seeing. Fine. This is something you're, for some reason, so committed to. That's something I'm more than willing to organize. This Sunday, then, 19th of Arostel, you got anything better to do? Clearly you don't, given the events of the previous weekend.
You're gonna win.
You know what? Come not just by yourselves, not just even you overgrown dwarf. Bring all your friends. Bring everyone you had to take down Dune Shaker when you came before.
So she's lazy and cocky.
It
totally
wouldn't.
fair.
It wouldn't even. It has to top the Dune Shaker. There'd be nothing else. There's such a pile of money in it for you. You can't even resist.
You can't even imagine how much money you're going to be making me. So honestly, I suppose thanks are in order, as well as congratulations. You've done a greater service of advertising for the Gladiators Guild than near anything that's happened, any show that we put on in the last weeks or even months. Truth be told, this might be the most impressive thing since I took down old One Eye. It's kind of a pitiful
Marshall kinda
display, honestly.
Has a little bit of a vein sticking out as he's trying not to grip his hammer.
Why are you guys always getting me involved in fist
Well, look.
fights?
Toddy was old and a bore and could barely stand on his own two legs when he faced me in the sense. Look at me and took down Dune Shaker. I'm put on a good enough show. Truth be told, perhaps it's something the guild needs. Just infinitely more coin rolling through our coffers. So you'll have your fight. Fine, for whatever you want it. Noon will be our main event.
We're gonna give him such a show, you and I.
After all that you've been talking, I sure hope we can stand to it.
Oh, it'll be wonderful.
I hate all of you.
But we'll have something, that'll be sure. Until then, surely you've got affairs to put in order. Of course, this need not be a battle to the death, but truth be told, those are the matches that the common folk just so clamor for. Suppose we'll have to decide when the time comes, eh?
Oh well, if the people who are supposed to break us up just get so wrapped up in it, they just can't quite make it into the arena on time.
And every now and then, combatants arrive who just find themselves so frighteningly out of their depth, so beyond what they imagine it's just near enough an accident. It's not even really an opportunity to call off the fight, really.
I can't wait to split your throat open and dry out onto the sand.
And I'm excited.
Oh, a chance I'm sure that you will love, but no. I look forward to this bout. Bring your
then.
friends, all of them.
Well, then I guess we'll see you Sunday.
I'll do well.
Come on, Roshin. I'll buy you a drink. Come on.
Roisin actually looks like a little savage. Like she's really getting into it.
Meanwhile, back at the bakery.
Like as Marshall's leaving the office with Roshin, I'm like, I swear, if you weren't so involved with your moms, I'd probably put the rain on you.
Oh, Marshall, don't make it weird.
Meanwhile, back
So,
at the bakery, the loaves are really this big.
You got a discount key. You got a discount card from Raz.
go ahead and write this on my calendar, I guess, because that's happening.
There's nothing to do. Nothing better to do today.
Meanwhile, at the bakery.
Next time on Catapesh Smackdown. Watch
Man,
this dwarf
the
get
hard part about
smacked.
the very open-ended, just doing whatever you want in the city is I keep having to remake the thumbnail because the thumbnail I make of what I think we're going to do is in no way related to what actually happens for 4 hours. So I guess I'm remaking this one too.
Squid,
So-
nobody cares.
It's not our fault. No one. I mean,
That's the production
Why
side.
would we go there? It's just like it's
We're not
a
doing it right
dangerous
now.
Headquarters of an enemy organization.
Meanwhile, at the bakery resumes, I imagine you're going to roll some diplomacy, have some nice cherry tarts, and make some friends.
She wants to buy and try one of everything.
Oh, Rez
Just
did that.
little bits of everything. And she's really excited to take this back to all of her high society friends so that they know who will cater their parties in the future.
If any of you thought this was scripted, by the way, look no further than how pointless all my thumbnails have been for the entire Catapesh arc, and I have to keep remaking them.
You are so
Just put
sad.
All your
You
thumbnails
should
is red.
hear him.
I'm hearing a lot of this.
I do all this promotion and these thumbnails, and we have this Twitch title that's completely irrelevant.
You should hear him before the sessions trying to like nudge us in the right direction. We're just like over
Gently
there.
shepherd, perhaps, the direction.
The
of the
direction of the
thumbnail.
thumbnail.
No, it's fine. We'll do this instead. Okay, good news. I know what we're doing next week, so we got that one. Roll me diplomacy.
Goes to the
We'll
pyramid.
find a way to sandbag.
Goes to the pyramid.
There is no way we don't fight Santa Claus next week.
Hey guys, you want to go to the Scarlet Pyramid?
Shut up. Roll in the maybe at some point you get curious.
That is going to be a 36.
Congratulations. The Guild of Bakers and Butchers will vote against the Scarlet Triad.
I really
Because
needed
you
that
and
plus
Rez
2.
were nice to them. Yeah. So, that works
Did
usually.
you get the punch card? They punched your card for you?
Oh, they punched every card in the entire bakery with the amount of goods I just bought.
Meanwhile,
At the fleshies.
Can
Stop.
I leave? Can I go
the
somewhere
good
else?
news, if you succeed on this roll, I never have to hear him say that again. Meanwhile, Rez and Trishik head to meet with it's not even really the guildmaster of the Fleshmongers Federation.
Just the head of this department.
But the liaison and the lead of their Catapesh operations.
I'm assuming this is a full-blown null.
This would definitely be a null.
Are they not full-blown?
Yeah, most of their organization is humans, and most of them are like Catapeshi
Like
humans.
part-blown
and-
gnolls or
There's actually a null that...
Look, I don't
Tief-
want to imagine a
tiefling
half
gnolls?
null any more than you
There's
do.
a
okay?
grassy
So,
knoll.
The tiefling null?
No, one of the null
Azamar null?
heritages.
Changeling null?
half
Pe-
null.
It's
Imagine
like
the
a super
hag.
short
Peep
null,
null?
and
So
people don't
desperate.
think it's actually a null.
I think it's like a corgi.
The
Or-
knoll.
No, like if you read the description, people don't believe
I'm
them when
dead.
they say they're nulls.
I am dead right now.
This
Did that
is
just
a
get
knoll.
said out loud?
All right.
Like little
All right.
knoll buns.
Your intentions are more than clear, and you seem to think quite highly of yourselves. My employees, my lieutenants throughout Catapesh have informed me that for some reason this is a deal that we have reason to take seriously. So, tell me, what have you to offer the Fleshmongers Federation? And what is it that we are going to be attempting here, my friends? Are you rolling independently, or are you? It's kind of one meeting, so probably one of you is aiding the other here.
Guessing he brought the rat for a reason.
He brought the rat for the reason, but he never told him why he brought the rat. What's the plan?
Well, you'll see. What I intend to offer you is a particular gem.
it's this rat.
Look, he's a snack.
And I have brought an associate to see the deal through, so to speak. Another member of my group.
Give me your aid. You can give me your, what is it, your society that's, or diplomacy is slightly better?
He's going to be the one making the actual deal.
Yeah, so you're going to give me your aid.
Yeah. And what I'm offering up is a particular blue gem if everything goes our way.
Oh.
So that's a...
So at least a 30.
37.
Yeah, so plus 2. You already have a plus 2. The thing, your aids that actually stack.
Yeah.
You got a 37 on your thing. I guess it will have to be independent because your aids won't stack. And he taking this deal, understanding what it is.
I have heard that the Thuvian Star has graced a new owner, but these trinkets are of little value. Do you understand the amount of coin that flows in blood and in flesh? The amount of coin that rolls through the milk markets of Volcano? A single stone is not enough to sway us from one of our strongest business partners here in the city of Catapesh.
How about I offer you everything they run? You can simply take it.
What is it you have to say? You've been brought for a reason, but I've heard nothing of you.
Squeak.
Diplomacy or society with your +2?
We're gonna use society, but Raz is actually really at a loss of what's going on. It's like, honestly, one way or another, the Scarlet Triad is going down, whether by
Whether you ride the wave or watch it, that's
yeah,
up to you.
and it's just giving you an opportunity to make plans for when that happens. So, with the +2, that's a 37.
37, bros. So as you present your case, Noel folds his arms.
An offer that I would reject under near any other circumstances, but it is not your platitudes here that have swayed me, but that of your deeds was passed through Catapesh. I have heard much rumblings, musings of the way the wind is blowing, and that the tides seem to pull out from under the Red Pyramid. If such things are true, if the sun will no longer favor the Triad, if you, I've heard that you plan to be, whether you are their downfall or any other, rescinding their support, or our support to them rather, seems to be wise. Our obligations to them will be committed by the end of the week. We'll renew no further trade deals, and no further hands for them. They'll find difficulty fencing their goods. Their livestock will be difficult to sell through the streets of Catapesh without our connections. They'll find themselves adrift, hastening their demise perhaps to but one that already sounds all but inevitable.
And once they have indeed fallen, feel free to take whatever stocks they might have had. It is yours.
Their voids will need filling, certainly. We are one of their... They are a large supplier for us, but we want not for their goods. We're certain they have their own deals throughout the city. Buyers who will be looking to stock from different markets. This vote we cast not for you, not for your cause, but for ours. We thank you for bringing it to our attention.
A pleasure doing business.
This coin will be warm with Triad blood by the end of this month.
Yes,
I can smell
indeed.
it.
There will be many vacancies, many manacles to collect.
I'm just gonna take my round.
So you got brought along to this in case I rolled poorly. That's all.
And now Raz has very clear attention of Trishik's personality.
I really miss the uptight barristers.
So,
Raz quietly screaming in the corner.
as the group of you at the end of the day
Doesn't change his opinion of Trishik at all.
reconvene back at Zader's estate, you've had a very effective day today. You have the support of the Guild of Bakers of Butchers, and Resme had a great afternoon.
I had a wonderful afternoon.
I want to ask for just a whole tub of ice cream and a spoon.
You,
I brought you
just-
so many tarts.
it's not so much support, but the Fleshmongers Federation seems like their own interests now align with yours. They will certainly be voting to dethrone the Scarlet Triad at this
You
point.
said it was going to be hard to get them. It only took us a week.
On a party.
We got the
And
purveyors, the
Trishik had a
bakers,
great afternoon.
the unseen hand, the alchemists, the carpenters, the farmers, the uptight barristers, the jewelers, and maybe the gladiators soon.
7, possibly 8 guilds behind you. That's getting close to the threshold that Zader thought would be a safe majority here.
Do not
And you
worry,
have
ladies.
a fight this Sunday,
Sunday.
the main card event at the fight pits of Catapesh.
Let's get ready to
Going be
grumble.
The heroes of Breach Hill, fighting none other than the guildmaster of the gladiators herself, Shez Sandclaws Shack.
You think
So-
she'll know if I try casting Nightmare on her the night before?
Yes.
Do it.
Haven't you been doing it every single night?
Yes.
But then what's the difference this make?
It's also just a fatigue that you're confident they have the means that they're going to annoy her, but they're certainly going to have the means to overcome before the fight anyway. But, screw her, right?
Yeah.
If anything, make the nightmare specifically like just Roisin over her.
She shows
taunting her.
No, she shows up to the arena. She's not wearing pants.
But there is...
She tries to put her arm on and realizes she's too fat and can't fit into it.
Yeah, one
Self-conscious.
more thing that has fallen together for the heroes of Breach Hill this eve, as Zader, surprisingly enough, has received another small envelope stamped quite simply with this black hand. Opening it, you would find a further invitation. Tomorrow, 1 hour past noon, the fountain in the Endless Markets. Ghost will find you.
Oh.
So I'm definitely gonna tell a little white lie to Raz to help calm his nerves. Do not worry. I was simply fooling the
I
I was simply fooling the Null. We'll be taking care of all the slaves. We will be taking care of everything.
We'll give them to a nice farm
don't-
family.
You don't have to lie to me.
Deception.
We'll give them back to the orphans so they can have parents again.
Wow.
The orphans go
hurt.
to another building to adopt parents.
Next week, we have quite a few things coming together here.
I'm
If
sad
we still
don't-
want to go meet Ghost, well, that option is going to be something we're going to have to take near immediately.
I want to absolutely stomp the Scarlet Triad with everything at my availability.
At this point,
Oh, yeah.
well, it seems like we're all pretty beholden to the main card events in the Gladiators Arena on Sunday.
Sunday.
There's going to be a big fight coming. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Thanks for hanging out, putting up with little technical issues there at the beginning.
Yes.
Went to make a new thumbnail for this week again. I guess I'll just put the dwarf on it.
You could save this thumbnail
You
for
could
next
save
week.
this thumbnail for next
Can
week.
call it the Unseen Fans, I guess.
You can call it
next
Talk
week.
to the Hand.
No, next week is episode. Oh, that's actually
That's
solid.
actually really good.
not bad, actually.
That's actually really good.
That's a
job.
banger. Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
it for
I-
sure. Talk to the hand. Next
You
week.
dismissed her
No,
immediately.
I got a title. Well, this resume saying something I assumed was stupid, but it was actually genius.
Thank you. I've had it brewing the whole session.
That was a banger. Next week, we got a title for this one. It's easy. Round 2. Fight.
Hey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll see you there, everybody. Good night.
You know what?
Night.
Everyone.
Night.
See you next Saturday.